Minneapolis, Minnesota on a frigid Super Bowl Sunday. Temperatures below zero outside U.S. Bank Stadium. And yes, they're playing the game indoors. But this is real football weather. Perfect to get everyone here ready for the Patriots and the Eagles coming up later on today here on NBC. We welcome you to Nicollet Mall. We're downtown Minneapolis all week long. This has been the site of Super Bowl Live. They've had everything here from rock concerts to snowmobiles, and the activities will continue throughout the afternoon. The cold doesn't stop anything here. They embrace it. So we'll be here throughout the afternoon, and we've got the whole city covered as well with the ultimate focus a couple of blocks east, the site of Super Bowl 52, U.S. Bank Stadium, and that's where we find Liam McHugh. Liam?
Yeah, Dan, it's a state-of-the-art facility, and one of the real perks, it is climate control. Zero wind chill factor here in the Eagles locker room. I'm here with Tony Dungy, a man who won a Super Bowl as both a player and a coach. What is it going to be like for these Eagles players when they walk in this room?
Well, Coach Doug Peterson has said all week, this is just another game. We've got to treat it as another game. But as soon as these guys come around the corner and get in this locker room, they're going to realize it's not just another game. We're looking at Nick Foles' locker here. He's got 4 pair of game shoes in here. When the players see that, this is a Super Bowl. It's not just another game. They're going to be on fire.
He's totally prepared for the other side of things. Let's send it over to Mike Florio. He's with Rodney Harrison, who I'm sure is right at home in that Patriots locker room.
Yeah, Rodney, you were in this Patriots locker room for the Super Bowl 3 times. What does Coach Bill Belichick say to the team?
Well, first of all, I'm really pumped to be up in here. This is the first time since I've been retired that I actually want to play some football. But Coach Belichick really never said a lot. But the one thing he says, guys, you're well prepared. If you go out there and do your job, you'll come back and you'll be a Super Bowl champion. And guess what? Back-to-back, baby. Yeah!
For more on the Patriots, here's Randy Moss outside the team hotel.
Where we are embracing the cold, the Patriots can actually feel their fingers inside the warm and heavily secured JW Marriott Hotel. They're trying to keep things as close as possible to a normal game day Sunday. Breakfast 2 hours ago, then team meetings. They have 2 buses making the police-escorted 9-mile trip due north to the stadium. The first leaves at 1:30 Central, the second at about 2 p.m. from here at the Mall of America, where it's been a truly unique setup in terms of accommodations. Patriots players have been encountering Eagles players in the mall throughout the week. This hotel attached to the north side of the mall. The Eagles are staying just 1,000 feet away at the Radisson Blu Hotel attached to the south side of the mall. And on stakeout duty there is Paul Burmeister.
Yeah, the Eagles' schedule, Randy, is a pretty good indication they feel there's nothing left to do but play the game. There's nothing on it. All they have to do inside the hotel today is eat and make sure they're on the team buses by 1:30. So when Doug Peterson told me this week that the game plan would be done by Thursday and he had no meetings to run here on Sunday, I asked him how his game day would begin. He said with his play sheet, running through drive openers, situational calls, and nailing down the run calls he thinks will work best. And then he'll turn on the TV. He wants to watch as many of the pregame shows as possible because he says sometimes there's something I can learn that helps me during the game. Let's go to downtown Minneapolis where Catherine Tappan is at the NFL tailgate.
Well, Paul, I'd say I got the best assignment here at the Minneapolis Convention Center where 10,000 people are going to be coming into this room. Local vendors are providing their specialty foods. And right behind me here, this is the VVIP section. This is where the team owners and their families are going to be wining and dining before the big game. We've got the stars coming through, performances from Darius Rucker and Sting. But, of course, the performance everyone is most looking forward to. That is at halftime at the stadium with Justin Timberlake. And earlier this week, Dan Patrick spoke to him.
Does your son understand the magnitude or any of this?
I don't think fully. I mean, he showed up at rehearsals, the other day, and he was like, "Daddy, I'm ready to watch you dance." And I was like, all right, let me put my dancing shoes on.
The entire Timberlake family getting ready for halftime festivities here in Minneapolis, Super Bowl 52. Now, I mentioned this is a winter playground they set up in downtown Minneapolis at the Nicollet Mall. It's a playground for kids of all ages. And speaking of kids, say hello to Rutledge Wood from our NASCAR coverage, coming in like General Patton.
Hi, Dan.
Hey, Rut.
This is amazing. I can't believe we're at the Super Bowl. Wow. And you know, Dan, to get here, I had to make sure I had the right driver, so I figured who better than NASCAR superstar and now NBC Sports analyst, it's Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Hi, Junior.
How's it going?
Welcome to the family.
I know, man. I'm excited.
Good to have you.
Yeah, this is, I joined NBC, and I'm at my first Super Bowl. I can't believe it.
You guys were out in the elements earlier this week. Tell us what you guys did.
Oh, man, it was insane. We had so much fun. We went skijoring, snowmobiling, ice fishing, tons more. Everybody will see it coming up later in the show.
Wait, skijoring?
Yeah.
The skijoring was a lot of fun. My favorite part was the broom ball. I see a lot of broom ball in my future, man.
That's for sure.
And cheese curds. Junior goes, I didn't know they had cheese curds here in Minnesota.
Yeah, we got some cheese curds, but we're going to...
He's a little bit healthier of an eater, no surprise, but I made him try it.
They were great. I think Amy's going to try some. She's here, so we're going to get some more cheese curds today.
It'll be big.
Yeah.
All right, so you'll show us that coming up a little bit later on. Maybe broomball makes the winter games. Maybe not. The real winter games almost here, kicking off this week, some 6,000 miles from here around the world in Pyeongchang, South Korea, where they're 15 hours ahead of us. NBC's new Olympic primetime host, Mike Tirico, has been on the ground for days. Mike?
Well, Dan, it is just after 3 a.m. here in Pyeongchang, where the Winter Olympics will get underway just 4 days from now on Thursday. Coming up throughout this day, we'll bring you a look at some of the stars and storylines to follow during the Pyeongchang Games, plus a live visit to Osan Air Base. The U.S. military has had a long-standing presence here in South Korea, and today the troops are getting ready to watch the big game on what for them and all of us is Super Bowl Monday. We'll see you later, Dan.
All right, Mike, more from Mike as the show goes on. It's cold in South Korea. It's colder here in Minnesota. Jim Cantoria, the Weather Channel, braving the elements. He joins us now. Hi, Jim.
What do you say, Dan? Just putting the finishing touches here on my outdoor thermometer. Holy smoke, is it cold. As a matter of fact, let's reveal some of these temperatures for you here. All right, it's not 20, it's not 30, but it's way down there. We got to go way down to the bottom of the thermometer here. Yeah, we're talking 1 degree below zero right now, enough to even crack the ice right on our thermometer here. If you factor in the wind, okay, which is blowing at about 12 miles per hour right now, our wind chill factor is 19 below. It's yet to be determined if the kickoff temperature will go above zero. We'll see. Either way, I'm sure there's a lot of folks that are glad we're inside today.
Thank you, Jim. And John Harbaugh is back with us, the Ravens head coach. Our Super Bowl last time we hosted, you were here with us, did a great job, so we welcome you back. Inside, it's in his contract, apparently he doesn't have to go outside.
It's warm in here.
Yes. How do you manage the excitement of that Super Bowl Sunday when you're the head coach?
But then I told our players the most important energy burn is going to be that 10 minutes before the confetti falls. We take care of that 10 minutes. We're energetic then. We'll walk together forever as champions.
Now, that's not a dig at New Orleans with the energy when the power went out in your Super Bowl.
Well, no, because I did mention to those guys, I said, you know what, we're going to win this game no matter how long it takes. They were ready for that.
But when you're trying to tell them, hey, have fun, focus, all of those things, how much do you allow them to have? How much leeway?
You do. You want to enjoy the process. I mean, you take them out there, enjoy it, look around, but it's still a business trip. I mean, we got to be focused, we got to be loose, but we got something to take care of today. It's very important.
I'm going to take you outside in the elements here in a little bit.
I'm looking forward to
Bundle up.
Oh, yeah.
Your players are probably going to look and see how tough you are.
Or we'll see.
Or how soft. Our coverage just getting started here in Minneapolis. Glad you're with us. Super Bowl 52, and it continues after this.
Our coverage of the biggest day in sports is just getting started.
Let's get it.
More on the matchup between the Philly D
It's intercepted.
and the greatest of all time.
I love what I'm doing. I love playing. I love trying to get to this moment.
Plus, the Eagles tight end and his soccer star wife.
Just love hanging out with one another. We don't do too much. Yeah.
We're not cool.
And the Sunday party continues in the Minnesota cold.
Let's get it.
With Super Bowl Sunday on NBC just beginning. The Super Bowl 52 pregame show on NBC is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. By Hormel. Chili. We are Chili Nation. By Corona Extra, who invites you to find your beach. And by U.S. Bank. The power of possible.
Hometown heroes. Trey Flowers, Huntsville, Alabama.
Now, I'm different than most parents. To give you an idea, there was no video game in my house at all. None. Never. I mean, y'all got enough brothers and sisters to play with. That's pretty much the way I ran the house.
When I was 9 or 10, my dad had a construction company, so, during the summers, you're waking up probably 6:30, and then you be out on the job site till about 7 to 8 at night and, go home and do it again. It kind of taught you just how to work for what you want.
Tony, how important is Trey Flowers today?
Well, the Patriots' game plan is going to be force Nick Foles to throw, so Trey Flowers' pass rush will be critical this evening.
Now, as you guys know, Super Bowl appearances have really become the norm for the Patriots, and as Peter King tells us, these 2 decades of dominance began with a pair of decisions in a 4-month span 18 years ago.
January 2000. The Patriots, coachless, aimed for a man who was Jets property. One fellow owner told Robert Kraft he'd be making the biggest mistake of his life if he hired this coach.
Due to various uncertainties surrounding my position as it relates to the team's new ownership, I've decided to resign as the head coach of the New York Jets.
Kraft did it anyway, eventually dealing a first-round pick to the Jets to acquire Bill Belichick. Now, April 2000, draft weekend. The Patriots were $10 million over the league's salary cap. They had only 41 players under contract, 12 below the NFL roster limit. 3 were quarterbacks, including star Drew Bledsoe. Quarterback was clearly the Patriots' position of least draft need. Plus, one of their scouts wrote this in a report on a painfully skinny Michigan passer. Marginal athlete, lacks quickness, very programmed. Receivers make him look better than he is. But the kid's accuracy and football ethos appealed to Belichick and to top scout Scott Pioli. The kid's draft grade was higher than anyone left on the board. So late in the 6th round, New England chose Tom Brady. 4 months, 2 decisions, history made.
And we're right in front of Tom Brady's locker, getting set for Super Bowl 52. You noticed something.
No avocado ice cream, I see, Leo.
Not yet. It's early. That's post-game dessert.
Post-game celebration.
But you know these guys. That Brady-Belichick combo, you put talent aside, why has it been so successful for so long?
I just love the relationship because Coach Belichick is the one guy that can push Tom Brady's buttons. He used to yell at him in the meeting rooms. And to Tom's credit, he accepted coaching, and that's a big part of why he's so successful.
And you know what I loved about that? Robert Kraft, he had the courage to not listen to the crowd. He knew what he wanted in a head coach, and he made the decision, didn't listen to anybody else. That, to me, is what leadership is all about.
And those decisions led to 5 Super Bowl titles and a 3rd MVP last night for Tom Brady. Don't get comfortable, guys. We're on the move here. Up next, we're heading down the hallway to the Eagles locker room ahead of their arrival for the team's first Super Bowl appearance in 13 years.
Hometown heroes. Derek Barnett, Brentwood, Tennessee.
I had Derek Barnett in class for him. It got hard. So I got with his mom and I said, Christine, your boy has the it.
She guided him along the way throughout high school. She put a plan together, structured what he needed to do. I'm grateful for her.
Once he knew what he had to do, he became the student athlete that I knew that he could become. I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
He kept in contact with her a couple times during the week.
He goes, you're a fighter, hang in there. So he's telling me things that I told him. I sit here right now, cancer-free. He was a real encouragement to me in my battle, so I'm grateful for that.
That's an awesome reminder that as big as this game is, these guys are playing for more than just Super Bowls.
And Coach Barnett has surely received plenty of guidance from Coach Doug Peterson, a former NFL player whose path in coaching began less than a decade ago at a tiny high school in Louisiana. Here's Jimmy Roberts with how it all began.
You know, for a guy that played in the NFL to want to coach high school football, that involved washing uniforms and working on the field and taking care of a bunch of 14, 15-year-old kids. It really made an impression on people here.
Coach Peterson, we're short on cafeteria duty today. Would you go help us with the high school students in cafeteria? Absolutely. I'll be glad to do whatever we ask.
I loved getting on the tractor. I helped stripe the field on Thursday. Friday afternoons, I was out putting all the orange cones out on the field, and I just enjoyed that part of it.
Doug Peterson called an audible, starting from scratch in Shreveport, Louisiana, instead of pursuing coaching jobs in college or the NFL.
And it was a great atmosphere for Friday night football. And everyone's advice was, you need to get somewhere and see if you just like teaching the game. So I thought the best way would be high school.
Peterson chose Calvary, a small Southern fried program that began one season earlier. He had 0 coaching experience.
You may know how to, for instance, run an out route, but
But getting that from your brain to the player, it's a whole different story. It's all about getting those players to love you.
And he did that?
He immediately had that.
The novice coach gave his players an NFL education. This was his call sheet. On any given drive, he'd run multiple personnel packages.
So it was pretty complicated stuff, huh?
I never really understood the playbook at all. He went from coaching me, small town boy, to the Philadelphia Eagles and take them to the Super Bowl in their second year. That's crazy.
So essentially what we have is do your job versus the guy who does everybody's job out there. What's the biggest change he brought to Philadelphia?
Well, I can tell you, Liam, it's that family atmosphere. I interviewed with Jeff Lurie in 1995 for the head coaching position when he first bought the team. He told me what he wanted. He wanted to create that family atmosphere. So it's no surprise to me that he went back to a high school coach who went to a Christian high school to pray with his kids and build them into men. That's what he's brought to the Eagles and to a man. They told me last week when I was there, Coach Peterson's the reason we're in the Super Bowl.
Coach, I used to coach youth football, and I used to do a lot of the similar things, getting a water bottle, lining the fields, picking up kids, dropping them off. The only reason you do that is because you absolutely love the game, and that's what he loves. He loves coaching.
So if you did all that and you're on the Peterson plan, that means 2028,
yes.
Rodney Harrison coaching in the
Super Bowl 62.
We'll see you there for that.
That's not going to happen. I already got my own Super Bowl winning coach.
Got too good of a job right here. We have plenty more on the way, including Tony's conversation with Coach Peterson as Super Bowl Sunday in Minnesota continues.
Yesterday here in Minneapolis, the NFL partnered with Comcast, NBC Universal, and the world-renowned Mayo Clinic to hold a pitch competition for startup companies developing state-of-the-art technology to improve player safety, recovery, and performance. The 3 winning companies in the 3rd annual First and Future competition each won $50,000 and 2 tickets to Super Bowl 52. Over 100 companies applied for the contest. Also during the event, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, NBC Sports Chairman Mark Lazarus, and Mayo Clinic CEO John Noseworthy were joined by Seattle Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson for a conversation about the role of innovation in sports. Congratulations to the winning companies.
Which means that just like every year, somebody's going to bring a veggie tray to your Super Bowl party. And that brings me to a segment we call Hey. Hey, Veggie Bringers, what are you doing? This is the annual battle for NFL supremacy. It's not a snack time at a Beverly Hills kindergarten. Don't bring a carrot to a nacho fight. And the only time I need hummus at a Super Bowl party is when I need to spackle the wall I just punched. Hey, do me a favor. Don't bring a veggie tray to my Super Bowl party, and I won't bring a rack of bourbon-soaked ribs to your book club. This has been Hey.
That wasn't our best, but it was good. These are tough to get. Enjoy this one. We need our best game next week, fellas.
You're playing for the NFC Conference.
That gives us a chance to play another one. So, congratulations, we've earned it. Give Jacksonville credit, and they're a good football team.
You're going to the Super Bowl, man! Let's go!
So, 2 pretty different locker room scenes after the conference championship games. What do you make of that, Coach, when you look at how New England celebrates, or maybe the lack thereof in Philadelphia?
The Eagles should be excited, man. They accomplished something. It was like a miracle season for them. They got to be excited. But, we saw Coach Belichick in the stadium yesterday. He was fired up. He was loose. He was happy. He was excited to greet people, took pictures with people. He was fun to be around, and I know he's ready to play, too.
But you weren't sure what you were getting when you saw Coach Belichick. You're not sure which coach you're getting when you see him.
You never do, but, it's all about preparation for both these teams. And these teams are prepared. You let that preparation fly. You go for it on game day. They'll both be ready to play.
It's hard to manage the distractions. How do you do that?
I think you do it by focus, you do it by preparation. You just go to work, and you understand it's not too big. It's still a 100-yard field. It's 53 1/3 yards wide. It's a football game when it's all said and done. Focus on that part of it.
You're out in the elements. You're ready now, aren't you?
Sir, I'm fired up.
Now we're ready for the Super Bowl. Super Bowl Sunday in Minnesota. Everyone getting into the mood with some football action. Back to Minneapolis right after this.
I can't stop this.
Patriots receiver Chris Hogan pursues a second Super Bowl ring in Massachusetts. His wife Ashley is 200 miles away on Long Island, working to finish her medical residency while taking care of the couple's 10-month-old twins.
We support each other's dreams. I mean, that's what makes it work, is that we really support each other in our passions and what we're trying to do in life.
And if that means being 200 miles apart to 2,000 miles apart, we'll make it work.
She'll wake up real early with the babies, put them in the car on Saturday, drive up, and I'll get to hang out with them for most of the day.
You know, when I don't see Chris for a month, the second I see him, I just melt into him, and I don't want to spend a second away.
Get to spend a couple hours with him after the game, and then 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning on Monday, she'll drive back home to Long Island, which is about a 3-hour drive, and she'll be in the hospital at 7 doing surgeries.
Basically, I wouldn't survive without caffeine. For us, it's FaceTime all the time.
You know, it's just fun for me to, have a little bit of interaction with them.
The second he comes on, their faces light up. And he's great when he does come home. I make sure that he gets his time and his fair share of poopy diapers.
And the fact that they're here, just being able to experience this and be a part of something that's pretty special, that doesn't happen very often. I'm just happy that they're all here.
Back with Coach Harbaugh. What did you know about Chris Hogan?
Well, not much until he started catching touchdown passes against everybody.
But when you face the Patriots, you've got to sort of pick your poison here. How did you approach them with these different weapons?
Well, we always try to keep Tom guessing as much as you can. Try to keep him off balance. Not let him know what you're doing if you can do that. But that's it's easier said than done against the greatest of all time.
How successful were you?
I think we did okay at times. We had our moments.
All right. Yesterday, the Pro Football Hall of Fame announced the new class of 2018, and it features some big names. T.O. finally gets in, as does Randy Moss. He was a first ballot choice, along with Ray Lewis and Brian Urlacher, and maybe one day Rodney Harrison's name will be on that list. Let's go back to Liam at the stadium.
Dan, thanks. Here by the field with Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk. With regards to Owens and Moss, there was a school of thought that maybe one of them would get in, quite possibly neither one of them would get in. So why did both get in?
Well, I'm told, Liam, there was a sense in the room that the best way to avoid any criticism from those of us in the media who may like to fire some shots at the selection process.
Who might that be?
I have no idea. Put them both in. Avoid the criticism. They both were going to get in at some point. They both get in now. Moss first ballot. That's Jerry Rice territory. Impressive for him.
All right, in worst-kept secret news, Matt Patricia, the defensive coordinator for the Patriots, looks like he's headed to take over in Detroit as the head coach. Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator for the Pats, looks like he's going to be the new boss in Indianapolis. So some holes to fill here for the Pats.
Yeah, and let's start on defense. The thinking is linebackers coach Brian Flores will become the new defensive coordinator. There is some talk, though, that Greg Schiano could come from Ohio State, join the staff, maybe as an assistant head coach, maybe take over as defensive coordinator if Brian Flores becomes a head coach down the line. Offensively, Chad O'Shea, the receivers coach, is the name I'm hearing. One last thing to keep in mind, though. I'm told that Matt Patricia has essentially made it clear to the Patriots that he will be leaving. I'm also told that Josh McDaniels hasn't yet.
All right, wait and see on that, but we'll see. Some changes potentially on the horizon. The Eagles, meanwhile, well, they dealt with a major change this year when Carson Wentz went down with a season-ending knee injury. Coach Doug Peterson had to make some adjustments with Nick Foles under center.
Some of the things we were doing with Carson, I'm not saying Nick couldn't do them, but it's just a different style. He thinks differently. He processes differently. I went back and I watched a bunch of his tape from a couple years ago and then had conversations with him. And what do you like? They're not big wholesale changes. We weren't reinventing the offense. We were just having to do a couple things differently.
And to see exactly what the Eagles have done to make things a little bit easier for Nick Foles, let's go on the field with Tony, Rodney, and Chris Sims. Guys.
Well, Liam, one of those things that Doug Peterson found out Nick Foles likes is called the RPO, and we're going to find out what that means today. Rodney Harrison and I are going to be the defense. Chris Sims is going to be Nick Foles and tell us what an RPO is.
Yep, here we go. So it's the run-pass option, and it's a great thing that this Eagles offense does. They put a lot of stress on the front seven, right, Tony? Their ability, the run game, it's so good. It's one of the best run games in the sport. But here I am. I'm Nick Foles, and I'm going to say set hut. And as the running back, Jay Ajayi, comes across here, I'm reading the linebacker. And I don't like where this linebacker, this mean guy, Tony Dungy, is in the hole. So when I see that, I know I have a lane to throw it, and I'm going to pull the ball. And from there, I got the slant route, and it's very hard to defend from that standpoint.
Yeah, and that's why they do it. In a normal zone, Rodney Harrison in the corner, he's expecting help from me, but I can't get there because this is a running play to me, and that puts Rodney on an island.
And, Coach, most of the defensive backs that play against this team, they play off coverage because the receivers are so fast. But what Coach Belichick's going to do, he's going to come down, he's going to play a lot of man-to-man technique, but he's going to go inside technique to take away that slant. So we run it, jam him, he cannot, he goes, and he's going to force him to, Nick Foles, to throw the ball deep and outside. Very, very difficult, a lot more difficult than a slant.
No doubt about that, right.
That's what the Patriots are going to try to do today, take away those easy throws. So, Liam, when you hear Chris Collinsworth say during the broadcast that was an RPO, that's what it's all about. Nick Foles showed us well.
And how about that? Chris Sims breaks his dad's record for completion percentage at the Super Bowl. Good news, if anyone needs a ride to the game, I hear this crew is running shuttles to the stadium. We're back on Super Bowl Sunday, right after this.
You know, we're really like brothers. We hang out outside of here. We go to online dinners, you know, once a week.
Yeah, after games, we like to go eat and maybe go to Chicken's Pizza, have a beer or two.
What do you eat when you go? How much damage do you guys do?
Oh, man, the crab fries run out. You know, they got the wings.
We always play credit card roulette to see who pays, and the last person in there, you know, has to pay.
And then we go hit the steam room the day after to kind of get the stuff out.
To be able to make weight, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what we do.
Eagles offensive line definitely hoping to have a celebratory meal tonight after the Super Bowl. But I'm back here at the NFL tailgate, joined by the man at the center of the craziest obsession sweeping our nation right now. It's Scott Rogowski from HQ Trivia. Scott, for those that don't know, hello. Can you tell us about HQ Trivia?
Yeah, HQ Trivia is a live game show that you play on your phone or device. You can download it for free at the Apple Store or Google Play Store. I ask a series of questions. If you get them all right, you win real money. And millions of people are competing live every day. We're live twice a day, 9 p.m. Eastern Time and 3 p.m. Eastern Time.
Are you surprised at how quickly this game has become so popular?
I'm surprised that it's taking me to the Super Bowl, taking me to the Olympics. I mean, this thing has really struck a chord with people around the world. What the best thing is, it's bringing people together, families together. Teachers are playing with students. And we've heard about cross generations all on their phones together playing HQ Trivia, winning money. It's crazy. All
right, well, Scott, we'll look forward to seeing you at the Olympics coming up next week. And if you think being at the NFL tailgate makes you hungry, try watching Worth It on BuzzFeed, the smash hit on the web. And here's a special Super Bowl edition.
Game day food! We're here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, bringing you a very special edition of Worth It.
We are going to try 3 of the best game day foods at 3 drastically different price points to find out which one is the most worth it at its price. We are on our way right now to Pajarito.
We're going to try hot cheesy dip. We'll be doing the queso fundido, which is melted cheese with flour tortillas, a little green chorizo that we make in-house, green onions, and jalapenos. So the texture of that.
All right. Whoa. Tortillas are awesome because they're both plates and foods. Next up, we're going to try some fried chicken at Revival.
Today I'm going to show you guys how to make the best fried chicken. Perfect fried chicken should look like a bunch of golden retriever puppies. Really rich golden color.
Wow. I don't think I've ever had a crust this good.
So the final spot we're going to, Chow Girls Killer Catering.
We are a catering company that focuses on local and organic, but we also like to make food that's really beautiful and approachable.
All right, let's eat.
We have some cheese stuffed sausage, bacon wrapped water chestnuts. It looks like a little football.
Porchetta. Pork cut up like a cinnamon roll. That is ridiculous.
Which ultimate game day food was the most worth it to you at its given price point?
My worth it winner, Revival Chicken.
My worth it winner, Chow Girls. Have fun watching the game and eating good food.
This is Super Bowl 39.
Come on, Don. Give him a shot.
Here's the rush. He looks and fires. It is intercepted. Picked up by Rodney Harrison. First and goal of the Eagle 2. Back to throw. Brady fires. End zone. Caught. Touchdown. It's Mike Vrabel. 17 seconds to go. McNabb looks, fires left. Intercepted. Rodney Harrison. And that is it. The Patriots are Super Bowl champions again. Back to back. 3 out of 4. All right.
You work up a sweat on the field, and the jackets just go away. So we'll try to find those. But I got one question. When is Deion Branch going to give you that Super Bowl MVP award? It's been 13 years.
I just wanted the car. I wanted the car. I wanted the car for my mom, man, at that point in time. But, you know, there's some individual things that you want to accomplish playing in the Super Bowl, Coach. But when I look at this opportunity, I remember me and Richard Seymour, we're in the locker room, Coach, and I told him, I said, Richard, I'm going to be the Super Bowl MVP. Richard said, no, I'm going to be the Super Bowl MVP. I went out there, had 2 interceptions, a sack, 10 tackles, and guess what? Deion Branch ends up being the Super Bowl MVP.
Well, you know what happened? Chris Collinsworth, our colleague, he voted before the game was over. He didn't see the second interception. He should have got it.
He never told me that. That's the problem.
So a message for Deion Branch. Keep the award. Send the car. Right now, though, let's check back in at the team hotel, starting first with the Patriots and Randy Moss.
Well, Liam, here at the JW Marriott Hotel, the buses assembling behind me. In about 50 minutes, the first of 2 team buses leave for the stadium. The Patriots, as always, focused, but we're told they're also loose, and they actually had a night off this week, something Patriots players from the past said they almost never got on Super Bowl week. They're envious. Thursday night at 6 p.m., the Mall of America closed its indoor amusement park to the public so the Patriots players could enjoy the roller coasters like the Avatar Airbender and the Brain Surge. While that was going on, Bill Belichick was downtown with courtside seats at an NBA game, but he didn't ease up on the throttle for long. He left the game after the first quarter. Here's Paul Burmeister.
Hey, Randy, the Eagles buses are just getting settled in behind me. They're here early. The team won't actually leave for 45 more minutes. Well, the Eagles quarterbacks allowed themselves to sleep in today, giving themselves a break from the 6:30 a.m. meeting they'd had each day of the week until today. Doug Peterson told me those were quarterback-only film sessions, so he didn't attend, but he did have a lot of interest in what Nick Foles learned during them. He said by the end of the week, at some point, Nick would provide him a list of the pass plays he liked best and wanted called early and often in the game. Doug texted me on Friday night and said, they are all on my sheet. I made sure everything he likes is on there. Let's keep it with the Eagles and go back to Liam.
Stay on your toes, Paul. Almost gets hit by a bus. Doesn't even flinch, just continues with the reports. What a pro. One of the Eagles' captains and top defensive players, Malcolm Jenkins, was also front and center during the player protests. Jenkins talked with Tony about the path from protests to progress and the support he's received from those closest to him.
I have a family that has a long history in the military. Family has a long history in law enforcement.
And they were still behind you?
Yeah, 100%. You know, my dad rarely text messages ever. And the first time that I participated in the anthem protest, you know, he sent me a text. That was one of his proudest moments.
Tell me about some of the progress you have seen.
At some point, people want to see, well, what are you guys doing about it besides the protest? When the NFL approached a bunch of us, we had a direct plan of how they could help.
What were some of those things they
and the
could
3
do
things
to help
that
you?
we wanted them to support us with was, one, we know how the NFL amplifies whatever causes they want. We wanted a campaign of that magnitude around social justice, police brutality, and these issues that we've been highlighting. The second part is we wanted some monetary support to actually give money and funds to the grassroots organizations that are actually doing this work on a daily basis. And then the third part, and I think is one of the most important parts, is the NFL is one of the biggest lobbyers out there. And we wanted them to lend us their strength from a legislative standpoint. Those are the 3 things that we've asked, and so far they've come to the table with that.
How about a time in the community where you said, man, this is awesome. I didn't know that we could get this done.
Played on a Monday night, and then the next day, myself, Chris Long, and Torrey Smith jumped on a train to Harrisburg, PA, and spoke with legislators, and it mattered that we showed up, and we got to see how much influence we had. And the more and more we show up, the more serious they take us.
What's the next step? What would you like to see next year?
I want to really engage guys around the league. I think we've built a mechanism where guys can just plug in, and I think the NFL has a unique platform to bring everybody together and do it in a way that I think we can move progress.
Tony, that was your first time meeting him. What was your big takeaway?
I was struck, Liam, by just how focused he is on the end result. Yes, it's protest, but he was really concerned about progress. One thing he told me, though, he didn't think it would have made the progress without the protests. He was very thankful that his dad, who was a military man like my dad was so supportive and behind him. And he's in this for the long run. As you heard him say, he wants to get more players engaged next year. He's really focused on that.
And Jenkins was the Eagles nominee for the Walter Payton Man of the Year of the award. We'll be back with much more from Minneapolis. This is what they're all playing for.
More from Minnesota on Super Bowl Sunday coming up, but here on Monday morning in Pyeongchang, we'll look at the Alpensia Resort, a recreational ski area at the center of several Olympic mountain venues, and it's right across the way from our home here at the International Broadcast Center. The Games have returned to the Korean Peninsula 30 years after the Seoul Olympics in '88, and this time the destination is just 60 miles away from the border of North Korea. One of the big storylines here. After all the uncertainty, North Korea will participate in the Games. The North Korean delegation will march with South Korea under a unified flag at the opening ceremony. And the two nations will compete together on a joint women's hockey team, while other athletes will compete under the North Korean flag. On Thursday, some of the athletes from the North began arriving in Pyeongchang. In total, North Korea is sending 22 athletes in 5 sports, including a pairs figure skating team that performs to Beatles music. Now, figure skating always takes a feature spot here at the Winter Olympics, and America's best individual medal hope is Nathan Chen, the 18-year-old from Salt Lake City who trains in L.A. Chen's been a game changer in the sport with his ability to land as many as 5 quadruple rotation jumps in his program. The quad's been a part of skating for a couple of decades, but sitting ice level during the U.S. Championships last month, watching Chen pull off these multiple quads in his free skate gives you the appreciation for his incredible athletic ability that's forced the rest of the world to up their game. We could get our first glimpse of Chen on Thursday night, live in prime time, as our coverage begins with the figure skating team event. And on Friday, it's the pageantry and spectacle of the opening ceremony and the Parade of Nations featuring Team USA. So a big start to the 2018 Winter Games, just 4 days away here in South Korea. For now, we'll send it back to Minneapolis.
Thanks, Mike. You know, those Olympics just a few days away. We thought who better to invite here than NBC's newest alpine skiing analyst coming down the hill. It's the Olympian Bodie Miller on the Fat Tire snow bike. Now that's an entrance, Bodie. That's what I'm talking about, brother.
How's it going?
Good, man. How you doing?
We're hanging in there so far.
Man,
Puppies.
Big difference in training and getting ready for the Olympics, and now your first time being up there as an analyst this year. What has that kind of training and difference been like for you?
Yeah, same approach. You know, you try to get prepared. Preparation's what makes you feel comfortable out there, and usually do a good job. So it's not so different there. I just am in a lot less good shape at this point.
You know, when we look back at that 2010 gold for you, you know, joy is obviously a word that comes to mind, but I want to know for you, what do you think it's going to take for that gold to happen this year with the level of competition?
You know, it's always different. Every games is different. You know, I think the level in skiing is really high at the top. So winning the gold is going to be tough. I think there's a big opening for people right below there. You see that sometimes where it's not quite as deep. I think that's the case this Olympics.
It's going to be huge. Obviously a Patriots fan. Good luck today.
Yeah, Patriots. Woo! Go Tom! Come on.
That's Bodie Miller right there. We got lots more.
Still to come on Super Bowl Sunday. The Eagles embracing the underdog role.
There's Lane in this really creepy dog mask barking at everybody.
Gronk back in action when it counts the most.
We want to win, so it's just great, the consistency.
And a Minnesota football legend, Bud Grant. Still going strong at 90.
It's been a great experience to watch all this evolve.
All that and more when we return.
Good morning, Philadelphia. Well, what do you think about the Eagles being underdogs at home?
Being in the city long enough, you'll develop that chip on your shoulder.
Oh, yeah, then I told you what you couldn't do. The disrespect will not be tolerated.
By now, it's almost pretty much a boulder on each and every one of the guys' shoulders.
We lost Wentz, man. I feel like I just died. Nick Foles, he got 2 left feet.
Obviously, once Carson went down, the whole narrative changed.
The play ain't even count. It just crushed our dream every time. I swear to God.
Everybody's story about us changed.
It was our time. It was our time.
We would continue to keep that chip on the shoulder, not losing that.
Throwing it up in the air, incomplete! They are 1 win away from the Super Bowl.
Just the disrespect of everybody, and then on top of that, we going out proving every week, and we still getting our respect, so the chip just kept getting bigger.
They come right back. It's a flea flicker.
Our team is stuck together like family, and we work our tails off. All of our success is because we work, we grind.
Good! Touchdown!
There's a lot of criticism on me, our team, and I think the big thing is we stuck together. We knew what was going on, but we stuck together, continued to work, we executed on game day.
Back with Coach Harbaugh. Can this work in the Super Bowl, this
Us against the world?
Yeah, these guys, they don't really believe they're underdogs. I mean, they know they belong in this game. They're one of the best teams in football.
But you have Brady, who has a chip on his shoulder after winning 5 Super Bowls, or at least in his mind he still has that chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, both teams are the underdogs. I mean, Bill Belichick is telling his team they're the underdogs. Coach Peterson's the underdog. Everybody wants respect. I mean, that's the motivating factor here.
Coach is headed over to the stadium. I'll see you in a little bit. Thanks for joining us. By the way, if you're curious, it's 0 degrees in Minneapolis. Players won't have to deal with the elements inside the stadium. Among its signature features, huge glass doors on one side that can bring in fresh air on warmer days. Today, they'll keep them closed. Super Bowl 52 continues after this.
This week in Minneapolis, U.S. Bank brought together 3 young Minnesotans to honor their volunteer efforts toward creating opportunities in work, home, and play to make their communities a better place. At the U.S. Bank Possibilities Lounge, football great Ahmad Rashad congratulated them on becoming the program's inaugural recipients. Now, each future leader will have the opportunity to network with national business leaders at the upcoming festivities at U.S. Bank Stadium. To learn more, go to usbank.com/futureleaders. U.S. Bank, the power of possible.
Opportunity. That's what we got here today.
Tom Brady, a once-in-a-generation player.
Ryan with a prayer, incomplete.
Unbelievable.
You're playing for the NFC.
We got to enjoy the journey each and every day.
We broke forward the life of being up there. Got me to the impossible. But that scores. Touchdown! Stephon Gilmore leaving his feet. Let's go get it. We're gonna. You're going to the Super Bowl, man. Let's go! For Tom Brady, Super Bowl number 8.
U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis with Super Bowl 52 coming up later on this afternoon. We're a couple of blocks west, and cold temperatures haven't dampened the mood outside of Nicollet Mall. They've been here early, and they have fun. They embrace the elements. We welcome you back inside, and maybe the biggest fantasy a player could hope for is becoming a Super Bowl hero. Here's Tim Layden on a pair of Patriots who know that feeling.
Later tonight, somebody will make the play of his life and take his place in Super Bowl history. We don't know his name yet, but we know this. Every year, a man and a moment intersect on the biggest stage in sports. A football player delivers, and the game turns. 2 such men will play for the Patriots tonight. One is a stocky 39-year-old linebacker who once went 100 yards with a pick 6. The other is an undrafted defensive back whose goal line interception stunned the football world. 6 years apart, they made 2 of the most consequential defensive plays in the history of the Super Bowl. It is how they will be remembered. 2 players, 2 stories, and remarkably, they are teammates tonight. 9 years ago in Super Bowl 43, James Harrison was a member of the Steelers. On this night, he gambled that Kurt Warner might throw a slant. Harrison intercepted the pass and ran the length of the field for a touchdown. A 245-pound man built like a shot put, rolling up the sideline. He was so tired by the end of his run back that Saturday Night Live lampooned his exhaustion.
You're still out of breath. The game was a week ago.
But Harrison got a ring and the last laugh. 3 years ago, Malcolm Butler didn't even expect to play for the Patriots against the Seahawks. He was an obscure rookie from West Alabama who had seen spot duty throughout the year. But he did more than just play in the Super Bowl. With 13 seconds to go and his team all but dead, Butler knifed in front of a Seattle receiver at the goal line, and when the 2 men hit the ground, it was Butler with the football and New England with another Lombardi trophy. It will happen again tonight. Opportunity will arise beneath the roof of an indoor stadium. A hero will be made. His name will live forever.
Let's go back to that Harrison play, because that offseason, presumably after he caught his breath, you spoke to him about that play.
I did. He was getting an award. I told him, boy, that was great execution. He said, no, Coach, I was supposed to rush. I knew I couldn't get there, so I just freelanced. Now, my question is, will he have the nerve to freelance on Bill Belichick tonight?
No freelancing in Bill Belichick's defense. Malcolm Butler did the complete opposite. He saw the play in practice. He saw it in the game. He trusted his instincts and made the biggest play of his life.
You guys aren't freelancing. You're just prepared for every moment.
Absolutely.
On the details.
That's why it's going smoothly. Right now, let's check back in with Catherine Tappan at the tailgate.
All right, Liam, thank you. I'm joined by Josh Duhamel, star of the upcoming drama series on USA, Unsolved, the murders of Tupac and the Notorious B.I.G. It debuts on February 27th. Tell us about the show.
Well, it's a show that literally goes from 1996 and then jumps forward to 2006 and sort of follows the two investigations and sort of the paths that these two detectives took trying to solve these murders. And it's one of those things that for years it's been strife with controversy, conspiracies, and all different sorts of things. And this really gets behind the curtain and shows what actually happened.
Well, you play the detective. Let's take a look at the clip of the show.
What do you know about the Christopher Wallace murder?
Biggie?
I think Biggie's murder is related to Tupac's murder.
You still don't even have one suspect.
You're going to take another look at things. Where do we start? The beginning. What is this show? I'm finally starting to put it together. This case is legendary.
Show looks great, February 27th. And Josh, I know you're a diehard Vikings fan, so what's it like for you to be here today?
It's a little rough. It's a little rough. The only reason I'm here is for you, Catherine.
Thank you.
And the show,
Appreciate
obviously.
that. And the show.
It was, I was hoping my Vikes were going to
be.
be here. I was manifesting that, but it never happened. Who do I got? I'm a big Carson Wentz fan. Therefore, I usually root for the Eagles when they're not against the Vikings, but they're not. He's not playing, and they weren't very nice to me last week or 2 weeks ago in Philadelphia.
So you're going Patriots.
So I don't know. I guess I'm going Patriots.
All right, there you go. Patriots for Josh Duhamel. We're having tons of fun here at the NFL tailgate, and how about how much fun they're having outside on the Polar Plunge? It's all about Minnesota as our Super Bowl coverage continues. Torrey Smith, Colonial Beach, Virginia.
I became Torrey's mentor back when he was 5 years old, when I had him in kindergarten PE. Torrey was always the fastest kid in PE class. He could outrun anybody in relays. I knew, of course, Torrey's economic situation, and I would take Torrey aside and just make sure that he had everything that all the other kids had growing up. It was obvious at an early age Torrey was destined to choose whatever sport he wanted. He was very good in basketball, but of course football was his livelihood. I had the ability and the privilege to be able to reach that child and to nurture him. He had the greatest heart.
There's Torrey Smith's head coach, Coach Peterson, getting on the bus. It's about a half-hour drive from the team hotel to U.S. Bank Stadium as they get ready for Super Bowl 52. Torrey Smith in his first season with the Eagles and here at the Super Bowl, along with teammates like Zach Ertz. Ertz is one half of a sports power couple. His wife, Julie, is a member of the U.S. national soccer team. And 2 weeks ago, while Zach was playing in the NFC title game, Julie was in the middle of a game against Denmark.
Where would you rather be tonight?
No place. No place in the world.
We were playing at the exact same time pretty much the entire game. That was crazy for sure.
Spot, snap down, header, touchdown, and in the United States, Julie Ertz.
Zach Ertz. He was wide open. The Eagles are headed for the Super Bowl.
You know, I obviously missed to be able to give him a big hug and say congratulations in person.
So yeah, I think everyone saw the video of how she found out. So yeah, after seeing that video, it wasn't easy for her to be away from that moment either. Everything that I was feeling, I knew that she was feeling too. Her goal was awesome as well, as usual.
Thanks.
I went to Stanford, she went to Santa Clara, so all the football guys were like, hey, let's go to the baseball game. I see Julie sitting in the stands, and I'm like, I've never seen her before. I just go up, sit right next to her, and from then on, we kind of started the conversation, and we hit it off from there.
I had the Under-20s World Cup coming up, and then he was about to then start football season. Right when I came back, he reached out to me again just to say congratulations, and like, I guess inseparable ever since then.
I mean, any successful relationship the key is going to be love. We truly care about one another.
Yeah, he's my best friend.
We just love hanging out with one another. We don't do too much.
And we love playing sports. That's it.
Pretty much all we got.
That's all we got.
Joined now by the legendary soccer announcer Andres Cantor of Telemundo. We, of course, will have the Women's World Cup next year, the Men's World Cup this year. How would you have called Julie Ertz's goal?
You want to give it a try?
Well, I want to see if the pipes work in cold weather.
Okay, let's give it a try. Let's go.
Here we go.
Dalkenberg con la pelota, gana la selección de Estados Unidos. Viene el centro para Davidson. ¡Gol! De Estados Unidos.
You're in mid-season form already.
Yes, I am pretty sure that our coverage on Telemundo will connect with audiences regardless of language this summer. We're 129 days away.
All right, so that's in June that we have our coverage on Telemundo. And we promise that the trophy will not melt. The World Cup will not melt when we get to that.
It will be very hot.
All right, our coverage Super Bowl 52 continues after this.
The Super Bowl 52 pregame show on NBC is brought to you by Target. Expect more, pay less. By Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. And by Olive Garden, where value is always on the table.
The fiercest man in NFL playoff history has never worn a jersey or called a single play.
Snow continues to fall here. It's like a snow globe.
You know his name, Old Man Winter. Consider January 19, 2002, Foxborough.
Fumble the football, and the Raiders have recovered.
Not even Charles Woodson in blinding sleep could prevent the start of the Patriots dynasty.
After reviewing the play, the quarterback's arm was going forward.
No, the coolest man in all that powder was Adam Vinatieri, who turned snowy New England into Oakland's icy tomb. January 10th, 1982, Cincinnati, the Freezer Bowl.
-9 degrees below zero.
The violent wind at Riverfront Stadium made it feel like 38 below. Every step was an act of will. In those inhumane conditions, the Bengals outlasted the shivering Chargers. New Year's Eve, 1967, the Ice Bowl. The kickoff temperature was -13. Then it got cold. Wind chill temperatures at Lambeau Field dipped to -50. And on that famous winter stage, Bart Starr became a mythic figure. The Packers beat the Cowboys and survived Old Man Winter's wrath.
And the Green Bay Packers will be third-time National Football League champions on a 12 below zero day here at Lambeau Field in Green Bay.
Cold weather is certainly part of the fabric of NFL history, and today's game, of course, is indoors. Though the Vikings did play outside for 2 seasons while U.S. Bank Stadium was being built. And in the franchise's early years, they regularly played at Metropolitan Stadium. Their coach back then was the legendary Bud Grant. Michelle Tafoya spoke with the now 90-year-old, still an icon in these parts, and still tough as ever.
A couple years ago, the Vikings host the Seahawks for a wild card game, third coldest game in NFL history. You go out for the coin toss in shirt sleeves. What was the message you were trying to send?
Hey, get over it. This is Minnesota.
And there he is, the one and only. She came out with a Dolph shirt.
I can't think of another famous person who would tell people, hey, come on over to my place, I'm having a garage sale.
That's a penalty. You get back in the back of the line.
Why do you put yourself in that position?
I'm retired. You don't retire from something, you retire to something. And I stand out there and I greet and meet and sign, and it's gotten to out of hand.
So when you win a Super Bowl, you get what's called the Lombardi Trophy, named after the coach that you know. But you two never got along. Why not?
Vince was an interesting guy. Vince didn't get along with a lot of people. Players will tell you that. Now, I'm not cutting his tires. I mean, he's a great coach, but he's a tyrant.
What the hell's going on out here?
4 Super Bowl appearances, all losses. How do you wear that? That Hall of Fame ring.
A Hall of Fame ring.
One of the things that you taught your team to do was called the Vikings formation, and it was the way to stand during the national anthem. Why was that so important to you?
I was raised during the war. I had a lot of friends that got killed in that war. It's just important to me that we show respect for those people who paid the ultimate price. It's the least I could do. Not much, but that's all I could do.
People perceive you as this stoic coach with no emotion. Clearly, you do have emotions, because I've seen a bunch of them today.
Yes, and I'm not ashamed of them at all. I mean, I'm proud. You know, the emotions I have for my family, my country, the Vikings. I'm proud of that.
Tony, what does Bud Grant mean to Minnesota?
I'll tell you, Liam, I came to the University of Minnesota as a freshman in 1973, and he was huge back then. 2-sport star there, Super Bowl coach, and he's been the face of Minnesota for 50 years.
As for the Colt, he says, get over it. Well, take me back to 73, your first experience with the Minnesota Colt.
I'm trying to take his advice. I'm walking around, and then finally we got a day about 10 degrees colder than this. I look around, there's nobody on campus. I get to class, and it's full, and they told me, are you nuts? You can't walk outside there. We have tunnels here. Get in the tunnel.
Well, Coach, when I got here on Sunday, I found the tunnels the very first day I got here. It took you an entire semester to find it. I thought you were smarter than that.
You guided us right through it. It was quick and easy. Now, as any Golden Gopher knows, Minnesota calls itself the state of hockey. And this week in the NHL, the Bruins face off with the Rangers on NBCSN's Wednesday night rivalry. And next Sunday at noon Eastern here on NBC, the 2-time defending champion Penguins take on the Blues. And as Minnesota native Bo Allen of the Eagles told us, here they take their hockey outside.
Pond hockey's a big deal. In Minnesota, you're just playing the pond. You can't think about Minnesota without thinking about hockey. So I was actually a hockey player growing up. I played like defense, left wing a lot. On like power plays, sit in front of the net and tip pucks and screen the goalie and things like that.
He loves hockey. He loves skating. He loves playing around with a stick and a puck, and he had a good time doing it.
He's a Minnesota boy.
My dad he's 60 years old, plays hockey like 2 or 3 times a week. So we'll see if I get back, maybe have a chance to lace him up a little bit.
This is your moment. You are more than a team. You are family. Now let's get out there and play. Hey, wait for me. I'm going to go off and to push your vacation to go 110%.
But that's mathematically impossible.
With an attitude like that, it sure is. You know, I really wanted to play Quidditch, but we're kind of a football family.
Interception.
Cheap shot. I don't deserve that. Let's see your game face. Akeo.
It's Akio.
Osseo.
Akio.
I got it. Accio. No? Fear is never an option.
Oh, yeah, it is.
All hail Megatron. Didn't you play for Detroit?
The sight of you sickens me.
Ever wonder how it feels to get the cooler dumped on you after the game?
Yeah. Is everyone ready?
Omaha!
You're uncoachable.
Go back to his playing days. We saw that type A personality. When did you know that Peyton Manning was going to turn into this Peyton Manning?
Well, I never knew that, but I kind of agree with the girl. Uncoachable.
Yeah, he's really good at those commercials. They're really funny.
It worked out pretty well when you were coaching him, however. Do you have an update? We can tell you that Pat's wide receiver, Danny Amendola, getting on that Patriots bus, making his way over to U.S. Bank Stadium, and we're going to make our way over to Nicollet Mall. Dan Patrick.
All right. Thank you, Liam. I like that Gronk called Amendola. His nickname is Danny Playoff. Back to Peyton Manning, oldest quarterback to win a Super Bowl, but Tom Brady can break that record today. Brady's path is well known. California kid, went to Michigan, and then to the Patriots. But this Super Bowl has put a spotlight on his connection with Minnesota. We spoke with Brady and his extended family all about it.
Browerville, Minnesota. Small town atmosphere. No stoplights in Browerville.
Located about 2.5 hours northwest of Minneapolis. I think the population is about 790 now. It was 800 when I lived there.
Yeah. She was born and raised here, so I guess I'm part Minnesotan. It was great coming back here in the summertime. The kids would all fish, and then we'd bring the fish back to my grandpa's house.
Going out fishing and putting together a big fish fry, that was like tradition every year. That was the thing.
They'd be running all over, running down to the barn, you know, helping my dad milk cows.
They tried to help in the barn, but Grandpa would get pretty perturbed because they'd grab the udder and squirt the cats, and, you know, they'd milk the cows and pull little shenanigans like that.
It's kind of playing with cousins and just feeling free. You know, I love that part of it.
To be honest, Tommy playing football has made it possible for our family to see each other a lot more. We see our grandparents every Sunday. Growing up, we would go to church, and then it was come home to watch football.
You are in my hangout, my man cave, I guess, and this is where we have watched Patriots football games for like 14 years now.
Whoa!
Having the Super Bowl just a couple hours away is really cool. We can actually get in our car and drive down there. And hopefully we come out of there with a victory, a big victory.
Much more with Brady coming up, including when I ask him about comparisons to Michael Jordan. Let's bring back Rodney Harrison now. How has Brady changed since you first played with him back in 2003?
Tom was always a focused guy, but once he started a family, that's when you saw him start to settle down. And what I loved about him, Coach, was Tom was very unselfish. He never talked about his accomplishments. He always praised his teammates. And everywhere I go, people ask me, what is it about Tom? Is that an act? What you see is truly what you get with Tom Brady.
I know, and in that piece, he looks like such a nice guy. I never saw that side of him. Every time he looked at our sideline, it was like that guy with a dagger who's just going to run it right through you.
Oh, yeah, he's still highly competitive.
Super competitive.
And let me tell you this, Liam, in practice, every practice almost seemed like a game. And any time that you would intercept Tom Brady, of course, he would cry and call that it was holding.
All right, so he's hyper-focused. So I want to show you this because Tom Brady making his way over to the U.S. Bank Stadium. And look at this, guys. He's on the bus, and we have our first audible of Super Bowl 52 because Tom Brady doesn't like what he sees on that one. You know what? Why don't I come off? Let's find another bus. There's got to be.
Very competitive.
Somebody
he wants to be on the best bus.
Much more coming up from frigid Minneapolis.
I'm Justin Dungy. I am going to go talk to some players, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Justin Dungy, NBC Sports. How do you stay so humble after winning 5 Super Bowls? What kind of snacks do you like? Where'd you get your nickname J-Train? How does it feel to have the chance to get past your first hand and start filling in your second hand with rings?
That's a great question, but it's very hard to do. So I'm very lucky to have one hand with rings, and this game's the only one that matters. But it was really hard beating your dad, I'll tell you that.
Who's had a better week than Justin Dungy?
Nobody. I tell you, he interviewed all those people. He interviewed Justin Timberlake. I asked him what was the best part of the week. Getting cotton candy ice cream at the mall.
Of course, and he gets to wrap it all up by seeing the Super Bowl today. We should tell you that Super Bowl 52, actually the second major sporting event in Minnesota in recent years. The 2016 Ryder Cup was held at Hazeltine, just 20 miles from here, a dominant win for the U.S. That competition took place in the fall, of course, but here, even the winter can't keep everyone off the course.
Football isn't the only sport going on in Minneapolis this week. Check out PGA Tour star Matt Kuchar, his kids Cameron and Carson, and drive chip and putt finalist Vanessa Vu as they enjoy a little snow golf out at Hazeltine National Golf Club.
There's only one rule in snow golf.
Have fun. Make that 2 rules.
Go big or go.
Who's that?
Only one way to find out.
Verity? Is that you?
What are you doing here?
Oh, you know, just training for the Winter Olympics. Got to get used to the elements, you know.
Care to join us for a little ice putting?
Don't mind if I do.
Go big or go.
Registration is now open for this summer's Drive Chip and Putt qualifying. Visit drivechipandputt.com today.
Play clock at 5. Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler. Unreal.
I was just an undrafted guy coming in, making my way, trying to stay on the 53-man roster. I just felt so great and so loved, and I was just glad to be able to put on for my city.
Malcolm Butler's had a tremendous impact on youth in our community.
When he comes back home and he talks to the kids, he let them know, don't give up on yourself.
Have faith, hard work, dedication, you'll get there.
That's what he did. You know, he went at it with all his heart.
He was an outstanding, great worker. Malcolm used to say he's going pro and he's going to be famous. He achieved it.
From Popeye to college to the NFL, made it big. We're extremely proud of Malcolm.
Malcolm Butler, from fast food employee to Super Bowl 49 hero. Rob Gronkowski missed the Patriots' Super Bowl 51 win last year, but now Gronk is definitely back.
Rob, this is the 8th straight year that this organization has won 12 or more games. And what does it say about the consistency of this organization to be able to accomplish something like that?
It's unbelievable. And if you think about it, I got here 8 years ago, so maybe that's the reason.
Gronkowski.
He's a freaking cyborg. That was not planned or anything. We got yelled at. We're not allowed to talk about celebrations. I kind of want to talk about it, but I kind of don't because I'll get in trouble.
Oh, man.
Officer Gronkowski, report to work.
Copy that.
What's up, baby? How we doing? Chilling over here with my cameras. I got 10 minutes left. We actually ran out of questions. We're outside here for a minute looking at each other. But I answered them so good.
I don't know what more to say about this guy.
And we're joined in the stadium by John Harbaugh. John, I want to get your take on Gronkowski in just a moment. But first, Rodney, you see that video, and it's same old Gronk. It's entertaining. What's different about him?
Well, he changed his lifestyle. I was there at the beginning of the season. He told me he was tired of getting injured. He wanted to change his lifestyle, so he changed his diet. He started eating the avocado ice cream with Tom Brady. He stopped drinking during the season. He stopped partying, and it worked out because he played the majority of the games this year.
All right, so he's fit, he's focused, he's healthy after clearing concussion protocol on Thursday. So, John, easy question. How do you stop him?
Hey, when we play these guys, we argue about that all week. You know, there is no good matchup.
There's a lot of theories.
There's a lot of theories, but this Eagle defense is fast, all right? They fly around. They run to the football. Right here, you try to play him in man coverage, Sean Davis has got him draped. Still to throw and a catch. You can't play him in man.
So in the red zone, you've got to double cover him. Jacksonville did that. This is what the Eagles are going to do today. Try to take him out of the game, make Brady go somewhere else.
And, of course, you know who's going to be defending him. Malcolm Jenkins, and he's one of the best coverage safeties in the league.
Yeah, but not by himself, though, right?
Not by himself. Listen, if anybody can cover him, I put my money that Malcolm Jenkins can cover.
No way.
Can you cover him by yourself?
I want that bet.
Well, we'll see who can cover him and who will cover him because
we'll
Gronkowski and the Pats making their way over to the stadium. The Patriots, they have exited their hotel. They are beginning their journey here. As for the Philadelphia Eagles, well, all 4 buses have left already. They are on their way. It's about a 25 to 30-minute journey over here as they get set for Super Bowl 52. And if you know music, you know late legend Prince was from here in Minneapolis. His home and recording studio, Paisley Park, is nearby, and it has been flooded with fans all week. A frigid Super Bowl Sunday in Minneapolis, where the ice offers any number of possibilities for fun. The Patriots and Eagles coming up. One player quite familiar with both teams is Philadelphia defensive end Chris Long, who won the Super Bowl with New England a year ago. After signing as a free agent with the Eagles, this season became about more than just chasing another ring, as he discussed with Chris Collinsworth.
I don't think anybody in the history of the National Football League has ever played a year for free. You've decided to donate your entire salary to charity for multiple causes, $1 million or so. Give me a little bit of why.
I don't want to, talk the talk and not walk the walk. If I was retired 5 years out, donating $1 million to causes that were important to me, in this case, educational equity, I'd just be an old rich guy donating money. People stepped up, whether it was other players or fans or businesses, and we raised twice what I invested.
Here comes the rush. He's hit, and it's intercepted. The rush came from Chris Long.
He had a great game in the championship game. Some really consequential plays. Once it was over, and you're taking family pictures, and your dad's on television with Waylon Jennings Long, which is the greatest name of all time. Put that in perspective for you now, a 32-year-old dad, and that moment that you were going back to the Super Bowl.
Well, number one, I'm glad he came along when things were going pretty good in my career. Last year was special. He was down on the field for the Super Bowl. He's about a year old. He didn't know what's going on. And this year, just watching him take those leaps, as any dad does, and one of those big moments was, him down on the field the other night. It made my experience so much more special.
Your Super Bowl champion, New England Patriots!
Can you believe that you're now playing against New England in the Super Bowl just 1 year removed? That has to be a little surreal for you.
It is a little surreal. I made the decision that I'd try something else, but I really loved it there. But I knew that scheme-wise, I had an opportunity to do something better for me, and that was coming to Philly. I saw the foundation for something like this building. I had no idea we'd be here, but here we are. And, of course, I knew we might end up seeing New England if we ever got this far.
Tony Long and this Eagles defense, they've given up just 33 points over the last 4 games. Dominant. What's the key today against the Pats?
Well, the key for them is going to be communication. The Patriots force you to make adjustments on the fly. There's going to be a lot of shifts, motions, just like this. Start with no backs, go back to one back. Malcolm Jenkins is the key here. He checks the defense, gets them into a blitz. They get off the field on 3rd down, but you got to be perfect against the Pats, Rodney.
Yeah, but this is Brady. This is Tom Brady, not Case Keenum. He's played in 8 Super Bowls, and I tell you, he's the greatest quarterback of all time. The one thing you can't have is any miscommunication, any confusion, any defensive breakdowns, because Brady, what he does best is find that open receiver, and he delivers a perfect strike.
Yeah, Rodney, you got to adjust a lot better than that if you're the Eagles defense. I mean, a good quarterback will hurt you with an adjustment like that. A great quarterback like Tom Brady, he'll kill you.
It'll be a lot faster than that today.
Rodney, outside of communication, anything worry you about the Philly defense?
Yeah, the one thing you notice when you're watching them, the Eagles cornerbacks, they play so far off, and we know about this offense. It's dink and dunk. So no matter how good those guys are in the front 4, if you're playing so far off, that's just too easy for Tom Brady.
They've only given up 17 points so far this postseason, but as you mentioned, today it's against the Pats, which means it's against Brady. All right, guys, much more on the way from Minneapolis.
Coming up, one legend talks about another. Brady on Belichick.
His intensity and his focus is really unmatched.
30 years after they made history in Super Bowl 22, Doug Williams and Joe Gibbs reunite and reminisce.
For me, I don't think it could be a better story.
And the star taking the halftime stage, Justin Timberlake. More from Super Bowl Sunday after this.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Sean Evans, and you're watching Hot Ones. It's the show with hot questions and even hotter wings. I'm joined by Von Miller. He's a 6-time Pro Bowl linebacker for the Denver Broncos, a Super Bowl champion. But how will he fare in the Hot Sauce Terradome? We'll find out today. Von, welcome to the show.
Yes, sir. Happy to be here.
You ready to get it going?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, this first one should be a free throw for you.
Easy.
So it's not every day that we have a real, actual chicken farmer on Hot Ones. Was poultry sciences always your calling?
It started with taking an easy class in college and, I like raising chickens, I guess it was destined for me.
If you could take one extinct animal, bring him back, and make him an NFL mascot, which one would you choose and why?
The Hass Eagle. It was one of the biggest birds to ever roam the earth. The Eagles going to the Super Bowl, so why not have the Hass Eagle? My lips singing. Owie. I don't even know how you can enjoy that. It's crazy.
Why do you tell young players that a personal chef is a better investment than jewelry and nice cars?
When I was a rookie, I wish I would have had a chef that cooked for me because that's how you play 15, 16 years. We got to find out what Tom Brady's eating, and I need to get some of that stuff.
This is the last dab. We call it the last dab because it's tradition around here to put a little extra on the last one.
Little dab.
Little dab.
For the coach.
Cheers, my man. Going in, Von Miller.
That's crazy.
Wow, 2 million on the Scoville scale. Dale Jr., I know you like wings. Do you want those wings?
Absolutely. I love chicken wings. Who doesn't love hot chicken wings?
That's true. All right, well, let's burn off some calories. Y'all ready? Here we go on the right. And 3, 2, 1, right. Left. Right. Left. Now, if you want to get some calories going, check out Fletcher Cox, the Eagles player, and this home Hall of Fame burger he's got going. Left. Right. Left.
Doing good.
Go, Dale. Left.
We came up with the name of Hall of Fame because we have to have the best cook to make the best burger.
Let me have a Fletcher Cox burger.
I can't tell you everything that goes in because you know much as I do about my burger. That's my secret.
We're going to top it off with the mayo.
There's a lot of stuff on that burger. It is a huge burger.
It takes 2 hands to hold it, so I guess Fletcher Cox got to be a big guy, which I know he is.
A lot of people actually get the Fletcher Cox burger, including me.
Strike by Terry Bradshaw. How in the world did he do that? Off for a touchdown. It's good. The Patriots are Super Bowl champions.
The disrespect will not be tolerated. All year they done told you what you couldn't do. You're going to the Super Bowl, man.
Danny Amendola. Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, their 8th conference championship together. Intercepted. Rodney Harrison, and that is it. Back-to-back world championships.
Driving forward.
Diving to the goal line. Touchdown. They have completed the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history. We're bringing this sucker home.
29-year-old Nick Foles is in the building. He considered retirement in 2016. Came off that 352-yard passing performance against the Vikings, 3 TDs in 3 career playoff games. He's yet to throw an interception. As for Tom Brady, whoa, man of mystery. He's in the building looking great, looking for his 6th Super Bowl title. 5 touchdowns, no interceptions so far in this year's playoffs. This is the 8th Super Bowl in 18 seasons for the tandem of Brady and Bill Belichick. I spoke with Brady about his coach, including his creative motivational tactics, one of which was on display the last time the Patriots and Eagles met in a Super Bowl.
Let me just read you a little something here. I thought this was kind of interesting. First, I couldn't believe it, but it's actually true. Talking about the Philadelphia parade after the game. All right, it's 11 o'clock in case any of you want to attend that.
Go back to Super Bowl 39. Coach Belichick finds out the Eagles are planning a parade route.
It's going to go from Broad Street up to Washington Avenue, past City Hall, then down to Benjamin Franklin Parkway, and we'll end up at the Art Museum.
What did that mean to you?
I think that's probably one that we look back on and now would probably laugh about it. I think when you're sitting in that room, you're probably thinking, what, is that really what they have going? Oh, they really plan that? And he's kind of telling you about, I remember, they're going on this route and down this road. And
so he read the parade route?
Everything. He I think from top to bottom.
Naval Air Station is going to fly over with their jets, too, in case you're interested in that.
And the Patriots are world champions again.
There will be no parade. A painful, painful defeat. How does Coach Belichick motivate you?
His intensity and his focus is, to me, really unmatched. He never lets you be less than your best without him telling you. You know, you could be that way, but you may not want to show up to work the next morning because, you know, he's going to let you know it. And he'll always say, guys, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to tell you what your parents tell you. I'm not going to tell you what your agent tells you or your friends. I'm going to tell you how I see it. And I think there's a lot to be said about that. Sometimes it's tough. Sometimes it's tough stuff that you really don't want to hear. But in the end, it's the best for you and it's the best for the team. It's funny, I sit in the room with Coach Belichick, and, you know, we've been together for so long, and I just feel like we're just like it's always been. I don't feel any different than what it was, you know, when we started in 2000 or 2001. It was just, hey, let's show up to work and try to do the best we can do. And, again, for this, it's like, okay, now we're in this moment. Now let's go out there and try to win this game.
And a look at Bill Belichick about to get on the bus. You know he's got the route to the stadium all mapped out, but let's go back to that parade route that he gave details of before Super Bowl 39. You were in the room, Rodney. What was your reaction at the time?
I remember being in the room, and I was sitting down, and I was kind of looking around at my teammates in total disbelief that they would be planning a parade. And I'm sitting there, I was like, it's so disrespectful that you guys would actually plan a parade. How
I can't even believe it.
You were the special teams coach.
I'm the special teams coach. We have no idea this is going. That's the first time I've seen that.
Come on, coach.
You think I'm planning the parade route? Come on. I mean, I can't believe it. That kind of motivation, we got to figure out who's responsible for that.
Yeah.
Huh?
Do you trust him, Coach?
Yeah, well, I think it might have been Coach Belichick that planned the parade route and got to you guys.
So
that's a motivator.
There's motivation, but there's also that Patriots culture. Where are you still seeing it?
Well, I take a look at Dwayne Allen. Dwayne Allen was a guy that came over. He was supposed to have a big impact in the passing game. He's only caught 10 passes today, but look at the block right here. Look at the effort. This is what I get excited about. This is considered the Patriot way. Guys doing more than what they're supposed to do, celebrating, getting pumped up, Coach.
Just look at how fired up those players are around him. They're happy for him.
Absolutely.
And that, to me, their coaching staff putting Dwayne Allen at the point of attack on the play that's going to get them to the Super Bowl, that tells you about how they create a culture.
Absolutely.
And it's all about that do-your-job culture. Right now, let's go to Catherine Tappan, who continues to do her job over at the NFL tailgate.
I'm trying to here, Liam, but Blake Shelton is getting all the attention. Star of The Voice, season 14 coming up on February 26th. Lots of attention here, Blake.
Oh, my gosh.
All eyes are
it.
going to be on that next season. What can you tell us what we can expect?
Well, you know, the big story for The Voice this season is Kelly Clarkson is the newest coach. And, you know, if you thought Miley Cyrus had stuff to say, wait till you see Kelly Clarkson. I mean, we're talking about motor mouth on The Voice. It's a lot of fun. She's a lot of fun to have. And then I'm bringing in Trace Atkins to be my advisor. So it's going to be a fun season. I think this is one of the best seasons that we've started so far.
And I know you're a huge football fan. You're a Cardinals fan, but you're here.
Arizona Cardinals,
Eagles.
that's right. In
So
fact, can I just say this?
Yes.
Because this is my time, right?
Yes, go for it.
I want to say to Kirk Cousins, if he's watching out there, we want you in Arizona. We want you to be the quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. I'm calling it right now. We'll be in this game next year with Larry Fitzgerald, David Johnson, Patrick
You heard
Peterson.
it right here
Come
from
on,
Blake
come on,
Shelton.
Kirk Cousins, do it. And watch The Voice. Also, Kirk.
Season 14 premieres February 26th. Blake, thanks so much for joining us. Have fun
Thank you.
today.
This is exciting.
We'll be back with much more from Minneapolis as we continue our coverage of Super Bowl 52.
The Super Bowl 52 pregame show on NBC is brought to you by Pizza Hut. Earn free pizza faster with Hut Rewards. By Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. By Hyundai, official sponsor of Super Bowl 52. And by Turkish Airlines. Widen your world.
Heroes. Jay Ajayi, London, England.
I'm a linebacker for the London Blitz, and I play American football, the best sport out there. My favourite player in the NFL is Jay Ajayi.
He was born 2 streets from where the London Blitz Under-19 American Football Club is based. Just to see someone on television who came from around the corner, I think people now are really seeing a pathway in American football. But to have an NFL player come say to your kids, you can do it, doesn't get much bigger than that.
I see it more as hope. If teams can see that one London boy can do it, then they can see another London boy can do it.
And a look at Eagles coach Doug Peterson making his way into U.S. Bank Stadium. He's got to be thrilled that he is Jay Ajayi. In fact, the Eagles owner Jeff Lurie told us this week that it was a no-brainer to go after Jay, and then when they got him, it showed the world that they were really going for it. So they're going for it. What's he bringing, Jay Ajayi?
Well, they had LeGarrette Blount. They could bang inside, but what Jay Ajayi does is give them the ability to run outside, and we're going to show you. He's got the speed on the read option to go all the way outside, and let's look and see what they do to Everson Griffin here, John. This is it, the read option, and put yourself in his place.
Coach, if that's my guy, there's no way I'm letting them run the ball outside. You've got the running back. You can't let the Eagles get the ball outside.
Just a little hesitation. Is it run? Is it pass? Ajayi outruns him. And then here, Rodney, I know this is what you love.
Yeah, we talk about the offensive line, but look at these receivers. And this is even Nelson Aguilar. He's even making a block.
And because they can stay on their guys, ends up being a big play down the field. But Ajayi and that speed outside is going to be something the Raiders are going to have to, or the Patriots are going to have to look at. And they are vulnerable. If you can get the edge and block down, you can outrun this defense to the sideline.
You see Kyle Van Noy not setting the edge, guys missing tackles, guys on the ground. And once you start to overplay the run, then they're going to come back and hit you with the play action. But look at the speed on the defense. They're very slow. Once again, guys missing tackles on the ground.
This is where James Harrison comes in, though. He may step in there, set the edge, control that edge of the defense.
You think he'll play more tonight?
I think he will, even in run defense.
And on October 26th, your Ravens shut out Ajayi and the Dolphins. 5 days later, he was traded to the Eagles. Now he's teammates with Chris Long. He won a Super Bowl with New England last year, looking to win one with Philadelphia this time around.
Seth Meyers, please welcome one of my writers, Amber Ruffin, for a special Super Bowl edition of Amber Says What. Amber, Alexa predicts that the Eagles will win the Super Bowl.
I heard that and was like, what? But you know Rob Gronkowski heard that and he was like, what? And Seth, people were going like, Tom Brady's going back to the Super Bowl. And I was like, what? And people were like, it's his 8th time. And I was like, what? And people were like, he's 40. And I was like, what? Face cream does he use? This bit ever since
Here we go.
Back here at the NFL tailgate with the cast of This Is Us and a highly anticipated episode coming up tonight on NBC right after the Super Bowl. Milo, I know you can't give away secrets.
Yes.
What can you tell us about this episode?
Jack dies.
He
Jack
gonna die?
dies.
No!
Yeah.
Jack dies. This is the episode where you will see what happens to Jack and, more importantly, how it impacts all of these lovely Pearsons as well.
Right.
Well, you guys also have an episode coming up on Tuesday. And Mandy, I know you guys have appearances on Jimmy Fallon tonight, the Today Show tomorrow. How fun is it to be a part of a show that all of us obsess over?
It's an honor. And it's an honor just to be here today. Like, it's not often that, like, the 5 of us as a family sort of get to celebrate such a monumental moment. The Super Bowl and our show, it's incredible.
I'm surprised because you guys come together, you're dancing on stage. It's like you guys spend 24/7 with each other. Super Bowl predictions. Justin, I know you're a Bears fan, but...
I am a Bears fan. Unfortunately, we haven't had a good enough team to be here for a while. It's hard not to go with Brady because he's done it so many times. I love both stories. I love both teams' stories, so it's hard to make a prediction.
I'm going to say the Eagles.
Definitely the Eagles. The evil empire has got enough Super Bowls. Tired of seeing them win. It'd be nice to see a backup quarterback take their team to the Super Bowl since Hostetler.
Agreed.
I'm going Philly, too. We're all Philly.
Right,
Philly.
well,
It's a
we
Philly
are not
family.
tired of seeing you guys win and taking away the awards. It's been fun to watch. We look forward to the season, the series tonight, watching it right after the Super Bowl on NBC. Guys, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you, guys. So much happening here in Minnesota, including zip lining. Look at these two. Patriots and Eagles, Super Bowl 52, continuing our coverage from Minnesota right after this.
Greatest of all time. Is Tom Brady the greatest of all time? Why are we still talking about this? That was already voted on last season. And it was a yes by a margin of 28-3. We're not here to figure out if he's the greatest of all time. No. On Super Bowl Sunday, we're going to figure out if he's the greatest of all Toms. So listen up, Hanks, Cruz, Edison, Jefferson, Selleck, Mouse Chaser, Tank Engine. Be warned. Super Bowl Sunday, he's coming for you.
So it's potentially the greatest Tom ever against Philadelphia fill-in Nick Foles. Any backup QB leading his team to the Super Bowl is unlikely, but Foles' run is even more improbable, given the decision he wrestled with just 2 years ago, coming off a disappointing season in St. Louis while his wife was dealing with serious health issues.
It changed her life, it changed my life, and, you know, there's times where a lot of us go through those crossroads, and you don't know what to do. What I felt was I should stop playing, and I just didn't know if I had the joy to do it anymore. And that was tough. That was really hard because I've done this my whole life, and it was scary. I couldn't figure it out until there was a day, my brother-in-law Ryan, we went on a camping trip, and I made the decision, I'm not playing. I'm done. You know, I felt a sense of peace. You know, I was okay with my decision. And I get home, and I talked to my wife about it, and it just, the emotions came back because I think 6 teams had called my agent, and we sat there and talked, and we're both crying because, you know, this is tough. And I sat there and I prayed. And it took me several months to figure it out. And I knew the decision I would make would be the one where I would have most growth as a person, and that would be going back to play football. My wife looks at me because she thought, you know, that's it. And I told her, I was like, hey, we need to find, you know, both her brothers. Yeah, one of her brothers played in the NFL, her other brother played college basketball. Both, you know, can catch. And it's like 9 o'clock. It's late. You know, lights going down. We're in California. And we went and found a field. I called everyone everyone I knew, hey, is there any field that's lit? And we found a field, and I went through because I hadn't touched football for probably 3-4 months. But I knew that I had the gifts and abilities, and I knew that joy was still down in there deep.
Can't tell you that his wife, Tori, is doing great. During that sit-down, what'd you learn about this guy?
Well, I learned the key to Nick Foles is faith. I asked him, what has been the key to this resurgence? And he said, you know, Tony, I really believe the Lord has me here for a purpose. He's got a plan for me. We know this is Carson's team. He's going to come back and lead this team. But I really believe God has me here for this moment. That gives me confidence. And because of his confidence, his teammates have confidence in him.
And today he's looking to become the 9th backup quarterback to win a Super Bowl. Right now, though, let's check back in with Catherine Tappan at the tailgate.
Well, Liam, the atmosphere is heating up here, and of course, here to perform his hit for the first time, here now is Darius Rucker.
Dashboard singing R.E.M. the summer star. You never lean back on a jet black Chevy blowing smoke rings in the dark. You don't wanna be a Uber girl, and I feel just the same. Well, I know that you don't know me well, but we make that change. When was the last time you did something for the first time? Baby, follow that feeling. Baby, something new is what you're needing, like a real guy. Let your head down below the line. When was the last time you did something for the first time? They say you never drank from the bottle of some $2 wine, run barefoot through the mud. You never had the right kiss stolen from your lips while you watch the sun come up. Well, I know your friends are watching and they probably disapprove. But give me just half a chance, girl, I'm daring you. When was the last time you did something for the first time? Let yourself go, come on, follow that feeling. Baby, something new is what you're needing, like a real night. Let your head down below the line. When was the last time you did something for the first time? Now the way you're looking says you're leaving. I hope I ain't you're shining, I think you're thinking it's been way too long. When was the last time
So the party continues there. Rob Gronkowski, he is in the building this last year's Super Bowl with a back injury, knocked out of the AFC title game with a concussion, but cleared to play. He is here, and so is his head coach, Bill Belichick. The 5-time Super Bowl champion Patriots get set to take on the Eagles.
The Super Bowl 52 pregame show on NBC is presented by Geico.
My name is Eleanor Fuzzy Downs, and I'm 106 years old. I'm a huge Patriot fan. My favorite player is Tom Brady.
Why?
Because I like his style.
Being a Patriots fan is like being a spoiled only child. Year in, year out, you're getting exactly what you're hoping for.
The city of Revere being named after Patriot Paul Revere. Our sports teams are the Patriots. That's how it is around. That's how we roll.
The Patriots, it's like a glue. It brings people together.
My favorite moment has to be last year's Super Bowl.
We're never out of the game, no matter what the circumstances are.
Adam Vinatieri kicking that field goal in a blizzard against the Raiders.
I was at that game with my friend Jimmy Carmelo.
Irvin Fryer. Loved him. Loved him.
For the last 18 years, we've been better than most teams in the NFL.
They're really good at throwing the balls and catching the balls.
I started going to games fully sighted, and then my passion increased when I went blind. I get the smell of the grass field when they still had grass, the crowd roaring and the announcers calling things out. It's immersing yourself in life.
The Patriots are a team that bring families together.
2 tickets. Yep.
And they make everyone happy. I'm Bella Velocity, and I love the Patriots.
My name is William Duggan, and I'm the biggest Patriots fan there is.
Let's go!
Go Pats!
We are the Patriots! Go Pats!
Give me a touchdown!
Go Pats!
Go Patriots!
And New England fans of all ages know that with Julian Edelman out this year, that man, Danny Amendola, has been a huge part of the Pats offense. And as he's done before in the postseason, Amendola took over the AFC Championship with 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns and a huge third-down conversion.
They are 1 out of 8 on third downs. This is a 3rd and 18. They snap it quick.
Now, that 3rd down and 18 was one of the biggest plays of the game. You have to take me through that.
I had a middle read on the play, just a little option to find a zone, and I knew the line that I had to cross, and there's some space there, and Tommy made a good throw, and we got it.
Playoff Amendola is back, and the guys just stepped up the whole way.
You took a pay cut to stay here. Mm-hmm. Why would you do that?
The biggest reason is that I love to get every other team's best shot every week, and that raises my level of play. That raises the level of play in our whole locker room.
Danny Amendola in from 9 yards out.
What is it about the playoffs that brings out the best in you? You seem to ball every time the bright lights come on.
You know, I love playing in meaningful football games.
Leaping up, Amendola pulls it in. Touchdown!
That's why I really enjoy being here and playing for Coach Belichick and playing late in December and February.
He's come up huge. Rodney, why do you think there's such a strong connection between Amendola and Brady?
Well, he told me it takes a lot of time spent with Tom in order to earn his trust. He said he spent a lot of time with him in the offseason, OTAs, and training camp to try to develop that chemistry.
All right, let's go back to that huge play. Early on, fourth quarter, AFC title game, 3rd and 18, Pats down 10.
Here it is. They've got to get up here about 18 yards. Danny Amendola's in the slot, and you talk about trust. Tom Brady, trust that he's going to get there.
Coach, you know, nobody does that. I mean, nobody moves the defense like that.
Yep, he needs to get here. Here's the linebacker who's the problem guy. He's in the way, and watch what Tom does to him. He looks him over here.
He's moving the whole defense while he's moving in the pocket. That's unusual.
And watch what happens to this player right here. Oh, I got you, and Amendola breaks.
But understand this, Coach. He didn't run the route at 16 yards, 18 yards. He ran it at 19 yards.
To get the first down and keep the drive going. Biggest play of their season.
Amendola, he's got 6 touchdowns his last 10 playoff games. Doug Peterson's going to have to figure out a way to slow him down. Moments ago, Peterson spoke with Michelle Tafoya.
Well, Coach, during your playing days, you went to 2 Super Bowls with the Green Bay Packers, but this is your first time here as a head coach. What's it been like for you?
It's been an exciting week. These last 2 weeks have been a little bit of a challenge trying to get everything sort of logistically lined out so we can get here, but we've got a lot of people working behind the scenes for us, and now that we're here, it's a matter of just taking care of business this afternoon, and guys are ready to go.
You mentioned that 2 weeks. All of that time, you've had the ability to communicate with your guys about preparation and game planning. The day is finally here. What will your final message be to your team before they take the field?
You know, the biggest thing is no one expected us to be in this game, and we're here. And so we're not pressure's not on us. We're just gonna go out. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna cut it loose, and our guys are gonna battle. They're gonna play for 60 minutes, and they're excited and looking forward to it.
Coach, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
2 degrees outside Minneapolis, feels like 16 below, which is why several of the fans are already making their way inside U.S. Bank Stadium. Much more from Minneapolis still to come.
You don't often see Bill Belichick on the field, not in the hoodie. I'm sure the hoodie is waiting in the locker room. Belichick inspecting the stadium, U.S. Bank Field, getting ready for Super Bowl 52. Coming up from Minneapolis here on NBC. We know it's cold there. It's 0 degrees as we join you about 5:35 or so in the morning on Monday in Pyeongchang. And welcome to our home here. Every year during the Super Bowl, we see members of the U.S. military enjoying the game. And here in South Korea, it's especially meaningful. There's been a large U.S. presence in South Korea for generations, dating back to the end of World War II. 7 decades later, there are more than 28,000 American troops stationed here, the 3rd largest U.S. overseas commitment after Japan and Germany. The largest Air Force contingent, about 75 miles southwest of us at Osan Air Base, where we find the Today Show's Dylan Dreyer and 8-time Olympic medalist Apollo Ono, who join us live. Good morning, Dylan.
Mike, you seem to have left out the fact that I have 9 Olympic medals. Sorry, Apollo. But the pregame party is well underway here at Osan Air Base. We are 48 miles away from the DMZ, and this is the home to the 51st Fighter Wing. 5,000 servicemen are stationed here between the Air Force, the Army, and the South Korean Air Force, and we have woken up about 400 of them, and they are ready for that 8:30 a.m. kickoff.
And you can hear how ready they are. The purpose and the goal of this base is readiness and preparation. Rather than tell you about the men and women here at the 51st, we thought we'd let them introduce themselves, and here is Lieutenant General Tom Bergeson to explain why a little healthy competition keeps everyone here at Osan ready to fight tonight.
Welcome you all to the 2018 Osan Flag Football Championship.
I think General Douglas MacArthur said it best. Upon the fields of friendly strife are sown the seeds that upon other fields and other days will bear the fruits of victory. So you're seeing that friendly strife playing out right behind me on this football field.
Osan ready, information X-ray.
So between the Mustangs of the 51st Fighter Wing and the Dragons of the 35th 88 Brigade, we've got about 5,000 airmen and soldiers here at Osan.
Staff Sergeant Travis Hansen.
Lieutenant Colonel Daniel
Staff
Lee.
Sergeant Devontae Robson. James Bartrand. 5th Reconnaissance Squadron, Black Cats.
These squadrons are made up of people who strive for excellence.
Always ready. Defend base. K9 leads away. Hurrah.
Stop. Rivalry sharpens the sword.
So who's the better pilot? I'm definitely the better pilot.
Definitely me.
Readiness is our best deterrent. They're part of an incredible team that's ready to fight tonight so that we won't have to fight tonight.
So I'm from Maryland. And
I'm from Florida.
Okay, so I know that you fly A-10s,
yes,
and your call sign is South.
Yes.
Now, Zach, your call sign is Gopher. You fly F-16s. I need to know more about that.
So my call sign stands for Girl Outperforms Husband Every Ride. Thanks to this one right here. So thanks for that one.
I love that.
That's amazing. Well, look, we're here. Do you guys have family back home who are watching the game? Who are you rooting for and why?
Ooh, we're rooting for the Eagles because we're big Ravens fans and we can't see the Patriots win.
All right. Well, you heard it. All right. Who here's for the Eagles?
No. Where are my Pats fans at? I don't know. I might be a little outnumbered here, Mike, but it's all about friendly competition.
It is, Dylan, and no matter which team you're rooting for today, you guys are with the one team we all root for all the time, our military. Great to have them as part of our day today. It's a big day for Doug Peterson. You saw him earlier in the pregame. He was a high school coach just a decade ago, and here he is coaching Super Bowl 52, coming up in Minneapolis in a little bit. We'll head back to Minnesota, hear from Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth as we continue. Much more from the Super Bowl straight ahead as we look at the Gangneung Hockey Center. That's the host of the 2018 Olympic hockey tournaments. Both the U.S. men's and women's team have a strong Minnesota contingent. The tournament, of course, taking place 38 years after this man, the late legendary Minnesota native Herb Brooks, led the U.S. team to the gold medal in the Miracle on Ice. That's the statue that stands in downtown St. Paul, Brooks' hometown. We go back to the other Twin City, Minneapolis, the guy who knows a little something about that miracle. Al Michaels and his partner on this Super Bowl, Chris Collinsworth. Hello, guys.
Hello, Mike. I can't tell you how many people have come up to me this week because here we are in the Twin Cities and want to talk about Herb Brooks. It's been 38 years, but not only was Herb the coach at the University of Minnesota and became the Olympic coach, but so many of those players came from the University of Minnesota, Minnesota Duluth, and these environs. So they think back, and I can't tell you how many people, you've been around me this week, how many people wanted to say, do you believe in miracles?
I want to know if Nick Foles pulls this thing off, do we get another one?
You might.
You don't know. It really has been amazing, hasn't it, to watch him. We have seen him be so brilliant at times, and you just wonder, and this, the biggest of all games, with all the emotions on the line here, can Nick Foles put it together and beat Tom Brady in a Super Bowl? It might be worthy of another Miracles call, partner.
That might be the #1 story. You know, in the NFL, the owners are always part of the story. I spoke with Robert Kraft and Jeffrey Lurie earlier this week.
24 years of owning the Patriots, an enormous amount of success. Does it seem real to you, or is it like a fantasy, or do you pinch yourself?
Well, you use the word, I pinch myself. I have the privilege of owning an NFL franchise in my hometown.
There have been plenty of distractions in the last 17 or 18 years with the Patriots, on and off the field. How do you guys get through all of this?
We've worked very hard as an organization to keep it all together behind closed doors.
The New England Patriots are the NFL champions.
When you're successful, you become a target. Jealousy and envy are incurable diseases, and I hope we keep making them feel that because we're winning.
You inherited Bill Parcells. He left. You had Pete Carroll for 3 years, and he's out. Did you have your eye on anybody else beside Belichick going into the 2000 season?
Well, we said we did, but
you didn't?
No. One way or another, I was going to hold out for him. And once I make up my mind, I stay with it and just do what I got to do to make it happen.
Can't imagine there's anything that's missing in your life right now that you yearn for. Is there?
Was just another Super Bowl championship.
That locker room scene in the playoffs.
This was not strategic. Players are dancing, and I just went in and did my poor imitation of what they were doing.
He lined up the team like they were bowling pins.
In sports, I think it's kind of an amorphous word, culture. What's the definition of the culture of the Philadelphia Eagles?
I've never, ever actually seen a group of guys so resilient. We've lost 5 Pro Bowl players, and it doesn't faze the coach, and it definitely doesn't faze the players. It's a special group of people.
And the Eagles win!
Most fan bases think they're special.
Yeah.
But Philadelphia, as we know,
yep,
they really are special. What would it mean, to take home the trophy?
It would mean everything. Their level of happiness is basically built around the Eagles. They've been doing it for generations. I just think it would mean the world to them. It would be the parade of all parades.
You know, there's an interesting connection here, too, Chris. When the Patriots were for sale in the mid-'90s, you know who wanted to buy them? Jeffrey Lurie.
Is that right?
He got in there, but he couldn't finalize the deal. And Bob Kraft had owned half the stadium, so that gave him a leg up. So Lurie tried to buy the Patriots, couldn't. Kraft got him, and then Jeff winds up with Philadelphia.
We'll see if he can finalize the deal out here today. As a matter of fact, there's another person trying to finalize a deal that we need to talk about. Like, I love Justin Timberlake, can't wait to watch him at halftime like everybody else, but he had a very personal challenge for my partner. Let's take a look.
I have a goal to make Al Michaels dance.
Oh, you do?
So, Al Michaels, if we can get you to shake your booty at Super Bowl halftime show. By the way, we can start that hashtag, right? Hashtag Al Michaels, shake your booty. That will be the icing on the cake.
That hashtag started a little while ago when my partner came to my daughter Katie's wedding, and he did indeed shake his booty. So we want to see that again in the booth at halftime.
Not at halftime because I didn't make the cut, but...
Oh, you're going to do it now? Here we go. All right, then. Let's go. Let's go a little Justin Timberlake.
Oh, what can I tell you?
Come on. Let's go, the Patriots fans. Where are you? Let's do it. Come on.
That is a career ender. Nice to see you. Good being with you. Here's a reminder, the Pepsi Super Bowl 52 halftime show with Justin Timberlake. Music's biggest night of the year coming up at halftime.
Teens are coming up with new slang terms all the time, and some of these slang terms are actually inspired by football, so we decided to give you a little primer in a segment called Seth Explains Teen Slang Super Bowl Edition. Our first new Super Bowl teen slang term is Prom Brady. This is the guy who ends up winning Prom King every year, so it's not even fun anymore. Here it is in a sentence. Ugh. Brad got elected prom king again. Even worse, the prom queen is that gorgeous 6-foot-tall Brazilian exchange student. He a Prom Brady. Up next, it's fake punt. Let's see what it means. It's when you and your friends ditch someone by telling them you're all going home. For example, Josh crashed our party and wouldn't stop talking about politics, so we decided to call a fake punt and say we had to get up early when actually we met back up at Ben's house. This has been Seth Explains Teen Slang Super Bowl Edition.
Still to come, one is the greatest of all time. The other started the season as a backup.
It's about to get turned up in here.
Now it's Brady versus Foles.
Patriots!
Plus, we'll take you onto the field as the Pats and Eagles warm up. And Justin Timberlake on performing for the world at halftime.
I want him to be like,
as Super Bowl Sunday continues.
Coach, he can't be dead. They're in love.
Heartbreak during the commercial break? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
A lot of people in Philadelphia know that feeling. They cried when Carson Wentz was lost for the season. But the Eagle players themselves never lost faith.
Wentz taken to the locker room out for the game.
The guy was pretty much the MVP of the entire season.
Once Carson went down, the whole narrative changed.
We might as well not even show up today without 11. That's what they saying.
Obviously, as players, we took offense to that.
Show everybody what we about, man.
I'm like, you know what? We need to rally around Nick.
We gotta protect this house tonight.
At that point, that's when I knew that, hey, you gotta be ready to roll.
And the Eagles have clinched a first-round bye.
It's about going out there on that field and showing what you can do.
He died. Touchdown! The Philadelphia Eagles are in control of their own destiny.
But this doesn't change anything that we're trying to accomplish. Everything we want is right in front of us.
Tony, you spent time in Philadelphia last week. It's one thing for these players to say something to the media or fans about how they feel about Nick Foles. What were they saying behind the scenes?
No, they were really into it. Malcolm Jenkins told me when Carson Wentz got hurt, even before Doug Peterson could say anything, he grabbed the whole team, got them together, and said, hey, we are not going to use this as an excuse. We still got a great football team, and Nick Foles can lead us.
Well, in 2008, we lost Tom Brady to a knee injury at very first game. The team was absolutely devastated. Coach Belichick came in front of the team. He addressed the team. He never panicked. He never made any excuses. It was basically like next man up. We rallied behind Matt Castle. We ended up going 11-5. We didn't make the playoffs, but we felt like we had a solid year.
And Nick Foles, so far in 3 career playoff games, has yet to throw an interception. Many ways to get ready for the Super Bowl, and our 2 bold adventurers of the North, Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Rutledge Wood, spent the week exploring all that Minnesota has to offer.
You ever been ice fishing? I haven't. Me either. I'm gonna knock this thing out, man.
Here we are, negative 19 wind chill.
I didn't think this was going to be the first gig. Welcome to TV. Oh, well, thanks. I'm having a blast. You want to do something a little more? Yeah. A little more exciting? What you got in mind? I know a guy.
That was awesome. That was a great time, man. This is way better than the ice fishing for sure. You were like Evel Knievel out there. Yeah, this is more my speed for sure. My face is cold. Yeah, it looks like it's painful. You want to go out one more time? Now it's time for a little skijoring. Once this was an Olympic sport. For real? Yeah. Okay.
2 skis, 1 dog, and a couple of idiots.
Go! Hike, 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 hike. Woo! Yeah! Go, go, go! Whoa! I know, buddy. Hike, 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 hike. Oh! Come here, come on. Come here, you did a great job. Look out! I'm trying. This is broom ball. It's a lot like hockey, but without the pucks or the ice skates and a whole lot more beer. And these are our refs, Walby and Lou. So, Walby, how's this work?
Just like hockey, 5-on-5 with 2 goalies on each end. You drop the ball and you start playing.
I picked Dale. Yeah! I take Jen. I'll take JC. Jess. Matt.
Gabby. Bernie.
Zim. Woody.
You get him.
Yeah. Let's broom. Let's sweep them. Whoa, shit. Watch it, man. Watch it. I'm fierce on the ice. Send it. Across to Dale. Oh, come on. That's totally fair. You telling him to do that right? Hey, you're supposed to get that ball in this net. You ready? Right through the leg. You got on my team! Guys, I don't think we're supposed to. Our team's over here. What an awesome time Dale Jr. and I had out there. Big thanks to everybody that helped make that happen. Dale, what was your favorite thing we did?
I love the broom ball. It brought the whole community out. You saw the husbands playing against their wives. Even the rest were drinking beer. I can't wait to bring my friends back.
I mean, that's a perfect thing. Speaking of friends, we got a couple friends right here.
Yeah, absolutely. We got Martin Truex Jr. This is a current Cup Series champion in NASCAR. We also got young Ryan Blaney.
Thanks for having me.
Fellas, welcome. Glad you're here.
Glad to be here, man. Awesome.
So, Martin, you're from Jersey. You're a huge Eagles fan. Are they going to get it done today?
Absolutely. Go Eagles. Go Birds, baby. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Hi, Blaney. You got the Patriots toboggan on, the Patriots beanie. You think they get it done?
Well, we had to have some competition in here somewhere, but I like Tom Brady. I've always watched him as a kid, and how can you not respect what he's done over there
over the years. So hopefully it'll be a good game today, but hopefully the Patriots win.
Yep. It's like you brought your own scarf. I mean, I bought you the hat, but the scarf you already had.
Well, the scarf wasn't included, so you failed on that one, so I had to bring my own.
I like your style. Guys, we know the Daytona 500's coming up. It's been a while since you guys done any racing. Do you think you could knock the dust off today and do a little racing with us?
I'm cool with that. What do you think?
Let's try it out.
Dalen, I know you're fresh on retirement, but could you come out just this one-time retirement to race these two?
Absolutely. I actually am undefeated on this hill. I've been practicing all week, guys.
You got any rules?
I'll let you know when you break them.
Fellas, grab a lane. Let's line them up.
All right.
Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, starting in lane 1, NASCAR superstar.
Oh, look at you. You're
fresh
going
to the NBC Sports family, Dale Earnhardt Jr. In lane 2, your current Cup champion is Martin Truex Jr. And in lane 3, fresh from his haircut tour, it's the young gun, Ryan Blaney. Fellas, are you ready? When I wave this green flag, it's going to be time to go. We'll see the winner at the bottom. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Go, Dale! And they're running. Oh, Dale runs the farthest. Let's see. Oh, Blaney takes the lead.
How did he beat us so bad?
Unbelievable. Look at that. Guys, I'm coming to join you. That looked like a lot of fun. Blaney, how did you do that?
How did you killed us? How did that happen?
He ran further.
Well, there were no rules.
There was no rules.
There was no rules.
You're right.
Specified that. Watch your back. We got
Oh, man, look out.
Oh, fellas, nice work.
The brakes.
Good racing. Have fun at the Super Bowl. Good luck. Ryan Blaney, you're champion.
That's right.
Woo!
Playing real racing goes better for me.
Wow. You were fast.
This portion of the Super Bowl 52 pregame show on NBC was brought to you by Geico. 52 pregame show on NBC is presented by Pizza Hut.
When I see somebody getting tackled on the field, I get crazy and nervous because I know what my day is going to be like, trying to scrub all the stains out and the grass stains out and the helmet marks. They're the worst.
We love it when they run out of bounds. Less scrubbing for us.
I was like, let's do this thing. I am ready. And I got really pumped. I got amped up. The pillar, I'd like to say, came out of nowhere, but video evidence says otherwise.
I have been an Eagles fan since 1933, and no one has suffered as an Eagle fan more than me.
We love them when they're good. We love them when they're bad.
E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! We got a new Rocky in town, Nick Foles. Go Birds!
Fly, Eagles, fly.
If the Eagles win the Super Bowl, it will not be quiet in Philadelphia for weeks.
My husband, Jeffrey, who passed away in August, he was a lifelong Eagles fan. He had said it would be great if he could have 8 Eagles as pallbearers so they could let him down just one final time. When the season started, all of a sudden ads started popping up in the local newspaper. It was one of his very good friends, and every single week he would put an ad in about messages from heaven as Jeff Regal as the new angel for the Eagles. Of course, miracles started happening every single week. Win, 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 win. This would have been his dream come true.
You can't make those stories up. Or this one. Nick Foles, we're a little over 3 hours from kickoff, out loosening up with his teammates, 29 years of age, in his 6th year in the NFL and here in his first Super Bowl. That's the offense. If the defense is going to be great, they're going to be great because of Fletcher Cox. He's a beast up front, defensive tackle, 6-year pro, and earned second-team All-Pro honors this year. We're, of course, inside the climate-controlled U.S. Bank Stadium, but it's beyond cold outside, and that's why we won't let Jim Cantori in the building. Jim?
You won't. Back in 1982, Dan, it was the Pontiac Silverdome that was 16 degrees outside. They will have owned the coldest Super Bowl on record. Well, today it is now 3. We may go up a couple of degrees, but when you factor in the wind chill, which brings us down to minus 14, by the time you come in here, which is why they let the fans in at 1 o'clock, and get inside, it's an 84-degree temperature difference. Not bad, my friend. Not bad.
Thank you, Jim. Enjoy the great outdoors. Less than a decade removed from coaching in high school, and in his second season as an NFL head coach, Doug Peterson is in the Super Bowl. He was mostly a backup quarterback for his 14 years in the league, playing behind the likes of Hall of Famers Dan Marino and Brett Favre. And then he had to rely on a, what else, backup quarterback to get to this game.
You start this year off really strong, and you know you've got a good football team, and then Carson gets hurt.
Wentz, he's going to run. Wentz goes into the end zone.
He took a big shot.
What was your message at that point?
This is why you get hired, to make tough decisions, to make decisions for the football team, and we don't know the severity of the injury until really the next day. But even the next day when we're back and stand in front of the team and say, you know what, we're still a pretty good football team. We're going to get Nick prepared. We need to rally around Nick.
As long as everyone else does their job, Nick Foles will do a nice job with this offense.
I'll never forget this. My son, Drew, my oldest son, sent me a picture. It was of me, Brett Favre, in Green Bay. It was several years ago. But on the wall behind us was a quote that says, "One man can make a difference, but a team can make a miracle." And I was like, that's it. That's it. And so the next day I brought that in and I put it up in front of the team. I says, guys, one man can make a difference, but a team can make this thing very, very special and can make a miracle.
The Eagles had to overcome a lot, and these guys continue to bark.
You guys have been the underdogs in these last three now, including the Super Bowl.
Right.
Have you embraced that?
I have. I would say that, my whole career as a quarterback has kind of been the underdog. I've had to earn everything that I've gotten in my career, and I'm now being in this situation, it's kind of the same thing.
For the first time in 13 years, the Eagles are headed for the Super Bowl, and all of you, the best fans in the NFL, deserve every bit of it.
What do you think Philadelphia would be like if you guys come back with that trophy?
Oh, man. Oh. I think we saw a glimpse of it after the conference championship game. But if we can somehow pull off the miracle and win this final game of this season, the city might put up statues of everybody.
Peterson just turned 50 earlier this week. Why was he the right guy for this team?
Dan, when I was interviewing him, it just felt like I was talking to my dad. He just made you feel comfortable. The first thing he did when he got there is he set up a players' council. He said, I want 7 or 8 guys to talk to me, tell me what's going on. You guys take ownership of this thing. To a man, those players told me, Coach Peterson made the difference. We had talent, but he brought us together.
Also, he's not afraid to, make a big play, call a big play. He's aggressive as a play caller.
Yeah, he trusts his team, and because of that, he's not afraid to take chances. We would say it's taking chances. To him, it's being aggressive. 4th down, we need 2 yards. Let's throw a pick, get the ball to our best short yardage receiver, and let's go for it. Let's go for the jugular, and his players love that.
Yeah, it sounds good, and it's great that he's an aggressive play caller, because the Patriots, their goal is to score 30, 40 points every single game. But the key is you want to play smart because you don't want to give Tom Brady a short field.
That's right, Rodney. Coach Belichick and the Patriots defensive coaching staff, they're paying attention. They're not going to give up that easy throw to the flat on 4th down. No way.
You think they've scouted some of those 4th down plays?
I think they're all over those 4th down plays.
Coach, we're trying to build up some hype here. Come on. Don't be a buzzkill. Yeah, absolutely. No hype needed for this. Up next, a pregame performance from Sting and my talk with Justin Timberlake about his performance at halftime of Super Bowl 52.
The Super Bowl 52 pregame show on NBC is brought to you by Pizza Hut. Earn free pizza faster with Hut Rewards. By Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. By Skyscraper starring Dwayne Johnson in theaters July 13th. And by the Kia Stinger, fueled by youth.
Fletcher Cox on the field playing up the underdog theme, getting ready for Super Bowl 52 against the New England Patriots. Meanwhile, across town, the party continuing back at the NFL tailgate. A legend has taken the stage. Here's Sting alongside Shaggy with Don't Make Me Wait.
Come and wait to get. Can't wait to give my last name. Reggae people, hands up. Let me see you now. Here we go. Yeah. Hey, everybody sing. Don't make me wait. Come on. Don't make me wait. True love, true love, true love. I can't wait now to love you, girl. Don't make me wait. Don't make me wait. True love, true love, true love. I want to say. It didn't take me long to fall in love with your mind. I won't even mention the way your body perfectly designed. So fine. I'm judging from your outlook on life. I know this would be more than just one night. I know I'm ready for the next level, and you're telling me you need more time. No crime, nothing wrong with waiting a little bit. You know there is more to this than just getting it. But you only get a love like this once in a lifetime. And if this is our chance, I'm missing it. My whole life I never felt like this. Just wanna run with it, I don't wanna fight this. I'm rushing you to make up your mind. Just wanna put some more quality in our time. Come on, hey! Don't make me wait. Don't make me wait. True love, true love, true love. Super Bowl, let me see your hands up over here. Here we go. I want you to make some noise to stick right now. Here we go. Hey! Ah. I don't want you to think I'm rushing you. I know you like to take your time. Hey! I'm already sold on the idea of you and I. Just show me where I need to sign. Hey! 'Cause I've been waiting for. And I know what works for me. All I need to know is this what you want. 'Cause I'm already where I need to be. Are you ready? So don't make me wait. Don't make me wait. Don't make me wait. True love, true love, true love. I can't wait now to love you, girl. Don't make me wait. Don't make me wait. True love, true love, yeah, true love. Yeah. You don't wanna rush and I don't wanna take my time. I'm putting everything on the line. They say that true love hard to find. I'm ready now to make you mine. Don't make me wait. Waiting now, waiting now. Don't make me wait. Hey. Yeah, yeah. Don't make me wait. Waiting now, waiting now. Don't make me wait. Yeah, my reggae people on time, yo. My reggae people, hands up. Here we go, sing. Don't make me wait. Come on. Don't make me wait. True love, true love, true love. I want you to spread the love, everybody. Here we go. Don't make me wait. Don't make me wait. True love, true love, true love. Hey, sing everybody. Check it.
Meanwhile, down on the field, that's the 10-year pro Chris Long, won a Super Bowl last year with New England, now with the Eagles, and hoping his night ends the same way it did last year as a Super Bowl champs. Once again, thanks to Sting and Shaggy performing at the NFL tailgate. And at halftime tonight, Justin Timberlake will take the stage here at the stadium. I spoke with Justin earlier this week. When I say halftime shows, this one stands out. What would it be?
I mean, I think there's a handful of them, but Prince, I mean, it's kind of weirdly apropos that we're in Minneapolis. I would say Prince is my favorite, and then on another level, the U2 performance after September 11th.
But with Prince, here it is, you're in his hometown. Mm-hmm. And to incorporate Prince somehow in the halftime show, are we going there?
I don't know, Dan.
We're only a couple hours away. Can't you give me a... Okay.
I'm just excited to be on the stage and have this moment. I was at rehearsals a couple of days ago. My wife brought my son. He's almost 3. And seeing him run all over the field. When certain songs would come on, he's dancing on the field. I mean, that's when you feel like this has already been a success. The rest of it's just going out there and sharing the moment.
Does your son understand the magnitude or any of this?
I don't think fully. I mean, he showed up at rehearsals, you know, the other day, and he was like, "Daddy, I'm ready to watch you dance." And I was like, all right, let me put my dancing shoes on.
Explain the last time you text Brady.
The last text exchange, because I felt like it was important to leave him alone this week, was at the conference championship. I was like, I'm going to be in Minnesota. You should be in Minnesota. It was kind of that, where I was like, it was a lot of capital letters, let's go. He was fired up. I mean, you know how competitive he is, and he said, I have to join you in Minnesota, which I thought was gentlemanly, but also full of swagger as well.
Who would the Patriots be in the music world?
I don't know. The Beatles?
So Belichick is Lennon and Brady's McCartney?
I think that's sort of fitting, isn't it? But yeah, Belichick is Lennon, Brady's McCartney.
People's heads are exploding now just thinking of this.
I don't know who Gronk would be. We'll leave it at that.
How do you know you've done a good show?
I can't give too much away, Dan. I want people to watch in a little while.
Well, they will. They're going to be watching.
But I want when they see what I don't want to give away, I want them to be like,
how long before I make that face?
How long
into the Super Bowl performance before I do that face right there?
Halfway.
Halfway, and the face I'm going to make is
it's like a series of just genuine wonderment.
How do you know you've done?
Sorry, I think I've cracked myself on that.
A lot of fun. It's been a great week. All kinds of entertainment here in Minnesota. The finale comes tonight. The Pepsi Super Bowl 52 halftime show featuring Justin Timberlake. Maybe surprises here. Music's biggest night of the year at halftime. Been a great week here in Minneapolis. A lot of fun, a lot of performances. And by the way, before the game, Pink will be singing the national anthem following Leslie Odom Jr. with America the Beautiful. That and much more ahead on NBC's coverage of Super Bowl 52 from Minneapolis.
I love these team celebrations.
It just shows again how much fun we're having as a football team.
We're not allowed to talk about celebrations. That's what we got told, but I kind of want to talk about it. But I kind of don't, because I'll get in trouble. So I don't know what to do.
You just got to know that. You got to know they let you slide.
The ringleader, I'd probably say, is Alshon.
He lined up the team like they were bowling pins.
He's the director. He makes sure, all right, it's done. Let's go. It's happening.
Action. Everyone just having fun, the brotherhood. That's what's so special about this year.
This team has had fun all season long with their celebrations.
It just happened on the spot. It wasn't planned. We'll just keep it there.
Look at Alshon Jeffrey. They call him the director when it comes to these celebrations. The Eagles, by the way, they won Celebration of the Year for that electric slide celebration. Here with John Harbaugh. As an organization, how did the Ravens handle the idea of celebrations?
Oh, we actually advocated for the rule change. I mean, it's good to bring fun back into the game a little bit. And as long as it's respectful and fun and people that do it the right way, it's okay.
You guys embraced it. You had the tug of war. You had Irish step dancing. You ever know that these things are coming?
I never know what's coming. I don't want to know what's coming. That's the key. Don't tell me. I don't want to know.
All right, Coach. Good stuff. Now, this week marks the 30-year anniversary of one of the most historic title games in NFL history. Doug Williams led the Redskins past the Broncos to become the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl. That feat and the bold decisions that preceded it helped forge a bond between Williams and his head coach, Joe Gibbs, that is still strong today.
Hey, we can't let this ball hit the ground, okay? Good throw. Now don't drop. Hey, anybody who dropped the ball needs 5 push-ups. Ready? Set, hop. Bad throw. I'm going to do my push-ups later. All right, let's go now. I'm getting warm up. Set, hike.
Last month, Doug Williams paid a visit to Joe Gibbs and his 8 grandchildren. In many ways, Williams is a member of the Gibbs family. And it's been this way for 40 years. Ever since Gibbs and Williams first met and formed a bond that has endured. In private and with the whole world watching.
Hold that ball, man. You know, when I look at it, Joe is that uncle. that you probably didn't know you had. You know, if it wasn't for Joe Gibbs, I don't know whether I'd be sitting here today.
Got a huddle here, got a huddle here.
Our relationship was so personal and we experienced so much together. It was my career wrapped into his career.
Your grandfather's a great guy. Don't let him tell you anything different.
I don't know if they agree with that.
I agree with it. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, break this thing, man.
1, 2, 3, break!
All right. Good job, guys.
In the spring of 1978, Williams had just finished a stellar career at Grambling State, where he finished 4th in the Heisman voting. At the time, there were no black starting quarterbacks in the NFL, and no team appeared interested in drafting him. So Williams taught high school in Monroe, Louisiana. One day, his classroom door opened, and Gibbs, Buccaneers offensive coordinator, walked in.
Talking about an all-black school, and this white guy sitting in the back. They probably wondering, who is this guy? And when I got a break, him and I, we talked football. And after school was over with, you know, we went to McDonald's. At that time, that was big, man, for somebody to buy you a hamburger.
We spent 2 days together. I think you get a pretty good feel for somebody. I became convinced this guy's really tough. And that's the one thing that a quarterback's got to be.
Gibbs returned to Tampa with a singular message: draft Williams. And that's what the Bucs did with the 17th pick in the 1978 draft, making him the second black quarterback ever to be chosen in the first round.
It was a big deal in Tampa when he first got drafted because that was breaking down a barrier. You know, that got a lot of attention.
When I first got to Tampa, coming in late as a rookie, I was behind in training camp. After practice, Coach Gibbs put me in his car and took me home. And I sat at the same table that his 2 boys and his wife Pat sat in, and Pat cooked, and I ate every night. So I was caught up on the playbook, you know, and that don't happen.
The more time that we could spend together, inviting him over to dinner, and then having a chance to talk football, obviously that helps in the relationship.
Gibbs and Williams were together for just 1 season before parting ways. Gibbs went on to become head coach of the Redskins in 1981, while Williams enjoyed success as a starter with the Bucs and in the USFL. And when the USFL folded in 1986, Williams got just 1 phone call from Gibbs, who was looking for a quarterback to be his backup.
I laugh, I kind of chuckled a little bit. I say, hey, Coach, I could be any up you want me to be, because I didn't have a job at that time.
Doug Williams threw only 1 pass that season. He had a starter's mentality, and in fact, heading into the 87 season, he called for a trade. Coach said, Douglas, he said, come here. I went over to him, he said, we made a trade. We traded you to the LA Raiders. Oh, man, I was the happiest man in the world because now I got a chance to start for the Raiders.
The paperwork, however, hadn't been finalized. And the next morning, Gibbs called Williams into his office and told him he changed his mind.
When I said, you can't change your mind, I don't work for the Raiders. And I sat back and that's what, but you know, like,
we kind of got after each other a little bit. I think I remember saying something like,
Douglas, he said, I got a feeling that somewhere during this season, you're going to come in here and we're going to win this thing.
Williams remained a backup for most of the 87 season, but played well enough in place of the struggling Jay Schrader in Week 16 that Gibbs, once again going on a gut feeling, named him starter for the playoffs. Williams led the Redskins all the way to Super Bowl 22 against the favored Broncos and John Elway.
Every article was Doug Williams against John Elway because I was a black quarterback more than anything, not because I was a quarterback.
But I don't think we looked at it that way. I think we looked at it as Doug was our guy. We had great belief in Doug.
Good afternoon from Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, California. The road to Super Bowl 22 stops right here.
The Redskins got off to a rocky start in San Diego, falling behind 10-0. Just before the first quarter ended, Williams hyperextended his knee.
He actually did a split almost.
I think he hurt his left knee. He did. He's going to have to go out.
Man, he got up from that, and Doug waved it back off and said, I'm staying in this game.
Doug Williams will be back in. You better bet on that, because Doug Williams is a competitor.
In the second quarter, came around, Joe came to the bench. He said, Douglas, you ready to go? I I said, yeah, Coach. He said, let's get this sucker to rolling.
The Washington Redskins offense is back on the football field, and so is number 17, Doug Williams. First and 10 at the 20-yard line.
The play wasn't even supposed to be for me. It was a running play, and Doug got there, and he got audible to a pass. Just the way he looked over there at me, and was like, I could just see it in his eyes. This is going.
Play action fake. Williams going up top. Got Sanders on the fly at midfield. He's gone. Touchdown, Washington Redskins. Just like that.
For some reason, every play we called, it seemed to be the right play at the right time. I could have shut my eyes and gone on the playbook. And I think it would have. Nothing ever happens like that in football.
In the second quarter, we ran 18 plays and we scored 35 points.
That's it. It's all over. The Washington Redskins are National Football League champions.
I went in and we hugged and he said, I told you so. Yeah, sure did. Well, you deserve it, that's for sure.
I don't know about that.
Yes. Man, what a view. What a view.
Gibbs and Williams don't get to see each other often these days. Gibbs is busy with his second career, owning a NASCAR team that has won 4 Cup Series championships, while Williams is the senior vice president for the Redskins. But, like most families separated by time and distance, their bond endures.
Even today, 40-some years later, I don't think you really know what it meant to me to be sitting here with you today talking about what happened then.
I think Doug Williams is one of the greatest sports stories in America. I got to tell you, I just think it was a special thing. I love being a part of it.
To end up with you, for me, I don't think it could be a better story.
I hope I'm not sharing too much, but the first time you watched that story, you cried.
I did. Coach Gibbs, Dan, said it was a big deal. He was underselling it. It was monumental. 1 year before Doug got drafted, I was a senior at the University of Minnesota. We played the University of Washington. I'm quarterbacking our team. Warren Moon is quarterbacking their team. I led the Big Ten in passing. I didn't get drafted. They told me I needed to switch to defensive back. Warren Moon went on to become the most valuable player in the Rose Bowl. He didn't get drafted. They told him to go to Canada. His skill set would be better off up there. So for Coach Gibbs to go out and be told, hey, let's get the best quarterback in the country, we're drafting him first round, and to come back and say the best quarterback in America is Doug Williams from Grambling College, you can't imagine how big that was.
I mean, you're looking at Doug Williams and what he meant to you, but people will be looking at you and what you've meant to other coaches because you were the first African-American coach to hold up that Lombardi trophy.
Well, 10 years after Doug got drafted, he's playing in the Super Bowl. Black America is rooting for him. I'm in the living room, my living room, cheering for him because I know it's going to make a difference. Today, my son Jordan is at his Super Bowl party. He's wearing a Russell Wilson jersey, and we take it for granted. But I have to remind my boys that there were plenty of Russell Wilsons and Deshaun Watsons, and they didn't get a chance to play in the NFL. But Coach Gibbs' courage and Doug Williams' ability changed all that.
And we leave you with Coach holding up that trophy in Super Bowl 41. And what that will mean, who knows, in 10, 15, 20 years on the community. 2 hours until kickoff, Super Bowl 52.
The Super Bowl 52 pregame show on NBC is brought to you by Pizza Hut. Earn free pizza faster with Hut Rewards.
Welcome to the Puppy Predictors Super Bowl 52 edition. Here's how it works. We have 11 puppies. We have 2 bowls of kibble. One representing the New England Patriots, the other representing the Philadelphia Eagles. Whichever team's bowl gets the most puppies will be crowned the Super Bowl champs. You guys ready to do this and see who are going to be the Super Bowl champs? All right, here we go. Release the puppies. Oh, it's a tight. Oh, looks like a landslide. The New England Patriots are the Super Bowl champs.
that Super Bowl prediction unscientifically adorable. As we take you on field live, check out some of the impact players. Tony, let's start with the guy you think might have the game on offense for the Patriots, James White.
Yes, Joseph Adai caught 10 passes out of the backfield for me in Super Bowl 41. I think James White could do that today. I don't believe the Eagles have a linebacker that can cover him.
Malcolm Jenkins, Rodney.
I know you guys think I'm crazy, but I do believe this is the one guy that can really give Rob Gronkowski a hard time. He's a great coverage safety, one of the better coverage safeties in the league.
Coach Harbaugh, Devin McCourty.
Hey, when this defense was struggling early in the year, Devin McCourty got them together. This is a leader as much as he's a player.
Zach Ertz, Rod.
He's one of the best tight ends in the league. He doesn't have a big name, but when I saw him warming up on the field, a lot of deep routes and inside routes.
I know Coach has a great kicker in Justin Tucker, but how do you assess Jake Elliott?
Jake Elliott's a young kicker, done a great job, but this is a big stage. Watch his follow-through in this game. If he doesn't follow through, if he punches at the ball, that's when he misses kicks.
And both of tonight's kickers played at the University of Memphis. They were both athletes who initially focused on other sports. In fact, Jake Elliott's kicking career started at a high school pep rally.
As they do a lot of times at pep rallies, they have those contests. And this was a field goal kicking contest. Jake had gotten pulled out of the stands.
I got called out there and knocked a couple through, and the varsity coach came up to me. It's like, you should really think about coming out for the team.
You didn't even have to be looking at him to tell how good he was. You could hear the thump of the ball coming off his foot.
Junior year rolled around. I was really focused on tennis at the time. Thought that was going to be my route going into college.
One of our coaches said, Jake is over there on the tennis courts. Do you want me to grab him? I said, sure. Came over, and right away you could tell he was very special. Our homecoming game when he was a junior, we were down a couple of points, and there was 4 seconds left on the clock. And then the following week, he had almost exactly the same situation.
Made a couple big kicks that year, yeah. Only missed one. So everything started off with a bang.
The longest kick in Eagles history.
Earlier this season, I saw Jake do the same thing to beat the Giants. Made me remember the times, it was bedlam on our sidelines.
That kick has the distance, and that kick is good from 62.
Stephen Gostkowski was a three-sport all-state player. He won state championship in football, soccer, and baseball. We were looking for a kicker so I could hit it in the end zone, and the assistant coach come by and said, we've got a guy playing soccer over here that can just kill it. So I took a look at him, and he could, and hadn't played football. He's a baseball soccer player. So we got him out, and of course he started kicking that year and never quit.
I just think playing different sports is helpful because you get put in different situations, and you've always got to be able to be focused and on top of your game to succeed at positions like those.
Stephen Gostkowski, 11 years older than Jake Elliott. 5th Super Bowl appearance. He hasn't missed a field goal. Did miss an extra point in last year's Super Bowl win. Coach Harbaugh, I'll start with you. Who's got the better special teams here?
It's got to be the Patriots. As you said, they have the more experienced field goal kicker, but it's not just that. This team covers kicks amazingly well. Stephen Gostkowski hangs the ball up way high, goal line, 3-yard line, and they want to get you at the 15-yard line. They're not going to say, hey, we're going to give it to you at the 25 with a touchback. And this kickoff coverage team, they're vicious. They get down the field, they make tackles.
And there you'd pick up 10 yards instead of kicking a touchback. They start at the 15. 10 yards can be big in a Super Bowl.
All right, as we go to break, you're looking at the guy they acquired on Halloween from Miami, Jay Ajayi. Back with more after this.